up, Woodward? We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, what up, though, people? It's Wake Up Woodward, and we appreciate you all for kicking off the day with the WUW Crew. Hey, you know what? Victory show. The victory shades will go on because we have multiple victories today, man.
Oh, yes.
Michigan basketball. The Detroit Pistons. I feel like that win could almost count for two, but you know what? Do it again.
But to
You
say
get a
they have
chance.
to do it again. We can't talk too much crap about the Bulls because they have a chance to redeem themselves, but hopefully they won't.
Yeah, hopefully they won't. And you know what, man? At this point in time, I was looking down at the NBA standings, and it's like, hey, just don't be that team. Shout out to Kyle Kuzma in those last place Washington Wizards right now.
Well, Kuzma got out of there. He's on Milwaukee now, but he certainly played a role in them getting that
there.
terrible record.
Yep. And that's where it's just like the Pistons being where they are right now, we wanted them to be above 500 at the break, and they get the chance to be a couple games above 500. If they just take care of business again, and that's what we saw a couple of these teams do, that is handle business. One of those teams didn't, but we got to talk about Michigan basketball.
Yes.
First, tell the people what else is on the rest of the menu.
Well, we got Rod Beard in a little bit early today. He's going to be here from 8:15 to 8:45. We all know that it's one of the best segments on the show, and I know you guys really love it. And Chuck Brewer, I know you had mentioned it throughout a lot of chats yesterday, but we're going very heavy Pistons because I think that they've earned it. And obviously, you know, Rod Beard's segment, that speaks for itself. And then even after that, because I think that this team might even have a ceiling that we're not even quite ready to comprehend just yet. But you know what? Gears have been shifted in my head. But first, I got to talk about that Michigan game last night because, like I've been doing a lot lately, I was in the house. I was in the house for that game. I was at Chrysler Arena, and I'll tell you what, that was the most fun I've had at Chrysler in years. This reminded me of going to a game during the Mo Wagner years or the Iggy Brzdakis years or Jordan Poole. I mean, you guys remember those teams. One of them made a national championship game and unfortunately lost. That was what this atmosphere was like. This was a true Chrysler Center home court advantage. They had Purdue coming in, a team that had put belt to ass when we went to their arena, and Michigan gave them a little comeuppance. I know that Michigan didn't blow them out, but a win is a win is a win, and that was just a huge win. And now Michigan, 1 year after an 8-24 season, is in sole possession of first place in the Big Ten, 13 games in.
I'm fired up, man. Let's go.
Is this real life?
It is real life.
I'm like that LeBron meme. Is this
Summer
real
walks
life?
into at the same time.
It is real life. Shout out to Dusty May, man. The 1 year program turnaround. And last night, it was almost, and I know this is going to sound like a little bit dramatic, but considering what I've been through as a Michigan basketball fan the last couple of years, I think some will understand. It was damn near like a spiritual experience being there, being a part of that crowd, being a part of the home court advantage. And last night, I would say that there was a theme. The theme with last night, as it is a microcosm of Michigan basketball on the season, is redemption. Redemption songs, these songs of freedom, because all I ever had. Okay.
You got Flano in this
Shut up.
That's how you
Hey,
know.
so he's gonna be in on the light song today,
Right.
right? He's gonna satisfy that light button with us today.
Don't be scared. Nah.
Shout out Bob Marley. That's one of my favorite songs by him. But there was just a lot of redemption going on. I mean, we can talk about Michigan as a program redeeming themselves, being first place in the Big Ten the year after an 8-24 season, making the change they needed to make. out goes Juwan Howard, in goes Dusty May. Love to see it. Obviously, giving Purdue a little bit of comeuppance, beating them, getting a huge win was redemption. But it wasn't even just that. It was both in the game, certain players stepping up, and I actually have a list of guys who either redeemed themselves or throughout the game or redeemed themselves from partly poor seasons. First, I have to start with Mr. Vlad Golden. I'll be honest. Vlad Golden playing a little soft in the first half. Playing a little soft in the second half. Michigan got down 50-40. There was a 10-point deficit in the second half. However, down the stretch of that game, Vlad Golden just kind of came alive. He got more aggressive. He was crashing the offensive and defensive glass. He made a couple of big buckets. He made 6 free throws down the stretch, which were absolutely huge. Missed a couple, but really helped seal the game. And one of my favorite Vlad Golden sequences, it was 2 consecutive defensive possessions. He gets a steal, which leads to a Reuben Jones layup, and then he blocks a Caleb First dunk attempt, grabs the ball, gets fouled, goes down, and hits the 2 free throws. Vlad Golden, first half, soft, second half, Paul Bunyan. That's basically what it was. Second, Michigan did not shoot the 3-ball very well early on in the game. They were laying some bricks, I will just say that. But in the second half, down the stretch when they needed them the most, Namari Burnett hit a couple of big threes on some looks that were created by Roddy Gale and Danny Wolf, respectively. And then Trey Donaldson, who's been one of the most valuable players on the team, he hit a big 3 that was assisted by Reuben Jones to cut a 4-point deficit into a 1-point deficit. Absolutely huge. Didn't hit the 3s all game, but when they needed to, they got it done. Also, I have to shout out somebody who I've given a lot of slander to this season, and rightfully so. Roddy Gale Jr. balled out. Credit where credit is due. Roddy Gale Jr. in the first half really made a lot of big plays, had a lot of big buckets when the team needed them to really keep them stabilized in the first half, kept it to only a 2-point deficit at half. And Roddy Gale, I got to give you some numbers. In the previous 4 games, Roddy Gale had gotten benched. He had a game where he had 3 consecutive traveling violations on 3 consecutive possessions. He had been shooting 27% from the floor, 0% from 3, did not have a game in which he eclipsed double figures. This was in the previous 4. And in this game, 14 points on 50% shooting. Huge. And 7 rebounds, which is a season high. Shout out Roddy Gale. And I also have to shout out one more guy, another transfer who hasn't been really that great this season. How about Reuben Jones? If you guys watched that game, you know how impactful Reuben Jones was. Made really 3 big-time winning plays. In the first half, there was a sequence where Roddy Gale penetrated to the cup, drew the defense, Reuben Jones cut, Roddy Gale found him, Reuben Jones with the dunk. The second one was Vlad Golden steals the ball, Reuben Jones runs the floor, gets rewarded with a pass for a easy layup, and then to seal the effing game, it was 71-67 with under 40 seconds left. Michigan had the lead. Danny Wolf drove like he often does because he's a 7-foot unicorn, misses the layup, but it was Reuben Jones who was crashing the glass, grabbed the rebound, put back dunk. So a lot of redemption going on last night. Vlad Golden redeemed himself within the game. The 3-point The 3-point shot redeemed themselves within the game, but Roddy Gale and Reuben Jones were in need of some redemption, and just in time, they got it. You do not win that game without the contribution of the much maligned transfers this year. We've talked a lot about Trey Donaldson, Danny Wolf, and Vlad Golden being home run hits. Roddy Gale and Reuben Jones have been but last night, they were anything but they were big time. Shout out Michigan basketball.
Shout out Michigan basketball. Shout out to future Detroit Pistons second-round pick Danny Wolf as well. Yeah, they just got to make that happen by this. When I first saw that mocked, I didn't know how the NBA world viewed Danny Wolf. But when you look at this guy's stats, coming here to Michigan, playing in the black and the blue Big Ten division, everything, all his stats, like his scoring went down just a little bit, about a couple points per game, but the field goal percentage, the 3-point percentage, the assists, the rebounds, everything actually took really like some pretty nice leaks, at least plus 3 percentage points, or actually in the stats, like his rebounding went up to 10 from like 7.6 per game. He added 34 to 37%. I like him, man. Danny Wolf. Let's get him in a Pistons.
Danny Wolf's a unicorn. It's funny how I did this whole segment on redemption without talking about Danny Wolf, because Danny Wolf doesn't have to redeem himself for a damn thing because he's been great all year.
Damn right.
But you got to give him credit too. At the end of the game, he had a couple of big time dribble drive layups. And that's the thing about Danny Wolf. If there's one thing that I wish I could impart in him, because in a lot of ways he's a perfect player as a Michigan fan, I think he needs to realize a little bit more that when he gets ahead of steam, if he gets a step, nobody can stop him from getting to the rim. I think he should average 15 a game at least. But at the end of the day, what can I complain about? He's getting what he's got in terms of numbers, about 12 and 10 and about 3 assists and running the offense like a point center. And Michigan is 11-2 and leading the Big Ten. So something he's doing is right.
And the efficiency all jumped as well.
Yes.
What it leads me to believe is whoever does draft him, if he falls to the second round,
He won't.
He'll
He'll be a first-round pick.
The
before it's all
trends are
said and
showing
done.
that he's going to be really good in the NBA, man. Like, even if it's just a rotational piece, the trends is that he's going to be pretty good. And Michigan has kind of produced some of those players. And Dusty May, program builder, man.
I was going to say,
player developer.
I wish I was in sports talk at the time, because there was another Michigan player that I was screaming from the rooftops, but only to like my friends, not to the Woodward Sports audience. This guy's going to be a first-round pick. This guy's going to be a first-round pick. That was Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner is my favorite Michigan basketball player of all time, and I see some similarities with Danny Wolf, although I think Danny Wolf is more of that point center type.
He's better.
But in terms of just season development, you're really seeing the full skill set on display. I mean, imagine if Danny Wolf balls out in the NCAA tournament. If Danny Wolf balls out in the NCAA tournament, we might be talking price himself out of being a Pistons first-round pick, because he might go in the damn lottery.
Yeah, lottery.
Dead serious. Danny Wolf's a unicorn.
I think that's his ceiling.
He's a unicorn.
It's crazy. This changed in like a month and a half, bro. The mock drafts that were coming out then were like, hey, Pistons could get a second-round pick. Hey, he could stay home. Just in that amount of time, the NBA world has realized this guy's a serious player. And I can't wait to see how it all shakes out. And just go blue for Michigan, man. What a big win, over number 7 Purdue. I didn't know that he was going to come here and have this type of effect in the Big Ten already.
Yeah.
Dusty, man.
No, that's why I'm so happy today. That's why I was so happy being at Chrysler Center and seeing that atmosphere. It's because I think we all expected Dusty May to be successful. I think we all looked at some of the transfers, in particular Vlad Golden, and we're like, okay, we saw what he did at Florida Atlantic. Danny Wolf, it's like, yeah, he's got the skill set at Yale, but we didn't quite know exactly what we were getting. They are first in the Big Ten. 13 games in, 11-2. They just beat the number 7 Purdue team, and they were able to take sole possession of first place, courtesy of your boys, JB, not getting the job done last night. Indiana saved their season, by the way. I told you that I've got an affinity for Indiana, so Indiana did save their season. And Michigan State, they took a bad L, but I will say this, JB.
What's Indiana's colors? Kind of Chiefs-like, huh?
Yeah, right. That's the reason. Yeah. You got me. But anywho, JB, a lot will be settled in the upcoming weeks, because Michigan plays Michigan State twice. But for now, Michigan reigns supreme.
I'll give you Isaiah Thomas, man. I'll give you Isaiah Thomas for Indiana. Let's rock.
Yes.
But let's get into this next segment. We got the legend on, Detroit News, Rod Beard. I know people are ready to talk Pistons. Listen, people, we wanted to get Summer in the building. We wanted to be able to get Rod Beard on the line,
so
we can
talk Pistons, bitch.
That's got to be a shirt now.
I know, right? Look how far we done came. People demanding Pistons talk. Look how far we done came.
I saw the chat. I'm like, listen, y'all know me, man. My heart is just like, y'all got me fired up this morning to talk Pistons. Hey, Ashton, the trainer's in the chat.
Shout out.
Detroit basketball is
dog.
on the way. Look. We got a segment with Rod Beard, and then a couple segments with Rod Beard, and then a whole lot of Pistons. Some of that with Rod as well. I can't wait. Let's get into that next segment, man. Let's hear from our friends from Feldman.
Hey, you know what? Let's do it. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Do yourself a favor, scan that QR code on screen, use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, but all you have to do is make a $20 bet. You know what? If it doesn't hit, they'll throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. Come on, it's a free $20 you're betting on right now. Scan the QR code, use code word Woodward1000, and make some money tonight.
Yo, what up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. It's your boy Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter, writer for the network, ball knower, all sports knower, Red Wings correspondent, Go Blue lover, Flannel Sam. And you know what? Shout out again to Ashton, the trainer, in the chat, and he's going off right now. He's like, they said my guy was a bust.
Crazy.
Hey, no, what's the next one there? They ranked him number 67.
Crazy.
Don't forget.
They had him like 8 spots ahead of that bum Brandon Pajimski.
I remember you and Rod lost it, bro.
I hate that guy. I don't know what it is. I just hate his face.
Yo, the Pistons are really doing this thing, and we're gonna get into it. We gotta get ask Rod a few questions about some of these other sports teams, and then we get into heavy Pistons, man. Rod Beer, Detroit News sports editor in chief. What up, though, brother?
Gentlemen, good morning.
We in there.
Good morning, Robbie. Hey, and you know our friend Ashton the trainer's on. He just typed in all caps 16. What up, though, Robbie? Thank you for the time, bro. What up?
I mean, he's not wrong. You can talk about it now. It's not this. Can they make the 10? Can they get the 9? No, it's they're firmly entrenched right there.
They are, and you know what, man? Whew. Gosh, I know we're supposed to talk Pistons next segment, man. We might have to just jump into it now. But did you have
You know what? I got a Lions question for Rod.
Let's rock this.
So, watching the Super Bowl, seeing the Eagles front four just dominate the game and really basically F up Patrick Mahomes' life. What did you feel in terms of the Detroit Lions and maybe them further addressing their defensive line in the offseason? Or do they have enough, if healthy, to do just that next year?
Bring me Myles Garrett. That's what I thought.
Fair.
Bring me Myles Garrett. I don't care what it costs. If it's 2 first-rounders, if it's 3 first-rounders, bring me Myles Garrett. If you can't bring me Max Crosby, whatever. They need more help on the line. And again, we said it at the trade deadline. Don't just go get one guy. Go get 2 guys. Go get depth. Make this happen. The defense is good enough to make it happen, but you have to have some pass rush there. And the Eagles didn't even blitz. We've been talking so much about how the Lions were so blitz happy this year that they needed to do that in order to get pressure. Eagles did it with 4. They just brought 4 at you, and the Chiefs couldn't do anything about it at all.
And you know what? One of the other ways that I believe the Lions are going to be looked at, to at least, if they don't take a step forward, they at least have to hold the fort, and that's with these coordinators. We read some of the quotes yesterday and went through what Steve Spagnuolo and some of the former players and current players think of a Calvin Shepard. But how much should people's belief in Dan Campbell put a lot of any worries or concerns to rest about what this team is going to be next season? Myles Garrett or not?
I think people are worrying too much about the coordinators, because it is, if Brad Holmes' job is to bring the ingredients, Dan Campbell is like that head chef that said, and people watch these cooking shows now, I don't, but they say what you're supposed to make. And the coordinators are kind of that chef that just puts it together on the plate. But it's a prototype of what you're supposed to do that the head coach kind of says, here's what we want to do. And I keep using this example. Ben Johnson is not going to go to Chicago and just start going for it on fourth down. That's not the way that he's created in his DNA. That is a Dan Campbell thing. So the nuts and bolts of which plays they're calling and blah, blah, Dan Campbell still has a headset on, so he can still override and say, no, we want to do this and not that. Your coordinator goes over the game plan with the head coach and says, here's what we're kind of planning to do. In those meetings, again, Dan Campbell can say, no, we want to run the ball a little bit more. We want to do something else with it and tweak what the game plan is if he doesn't like what's there. So I think this offense in Dan Campbell's image, and it's going to continue to be that way despite whatever coordinator you're going to bring there with it.
You know, speaking of the Lions offense, given the fact that we just saw the Eagles win the Super Bowl and Jalen Hurts win Super Bowl MVP, who you taking moving forward if you're just a GM of any team, Jared Goff or Jalen Hurts as your quarterback?
I will take Jalen Hurts because he's won a Super Bowl now.
Ooh.
That experience is equal because they've each kind of gotten one, but it's still, you've won a Super Bowl. Like that's the differentiator between all of this.
Yep, and he's put up phenomenal numbers in both Super Bowls that he's been in. So one of the best per game Super Bowl quarterbacks we've ever seen. Probably the second best, honestly, next to Joe Montana, if we really think about it, even though his sample size is smaller. But yeah, I actually at this point agree with you, and I think that that's probably what puts it over the top. Is Jalen Hurts showed up biggest in the biggest moments, got the Super Bowl MVP. No disrespect to Jared Goff, but Jalen Hurts. When you do that, you earn a status in the NFL that non-Super Bowl MVP quarterbacks just don't. It's just the reality.
Yeah. And you know what? People are demanding it, man. They're demanding it, Rob Beard. They're ready for Pistons talk. I want to say what up, though, to some friends, and then we'll come right back, and we will jump right into the Pistons segment. I see the chat family is just ready for it, man. It's dope to see this much Pistons love right now, Rod. It's been a journey, man, but we finally here. Let's say
started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Let's go. Hey, let's get into this next segment, man.
Absolutely. But first, let me tell you about Les Stanford. It's the Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for only $239 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $789 per month. $0 security deposit, $0 duet signing, $0 first payment, and $0 acquisition fee. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory at the Sign and Drive sale. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Hey, Planet Fitness, the best gym in the gym game. They got 50 plus Metro Detroit locations, so if you are in the area, there is definitely one close by. And that is perfect for if you just want the basic membership, $15 per month, where you have your home gym where you can work out at, which has all of the amenities where you can meet all of your fitness goals and the majority of your wellness goals in life as well, because exercise and physical fitness, that plays a huge role. Or you could upgrade to the Black Card and get $24.99 per month membership, which includes the ability to bring a guest. So if someone's not sure about Planet Fitness, bring them with you. Maybe they'll get a membership for themselves, or you can go to any Planet Fitness across the world and just flash your membership badge and you are in. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
JB, these matchups with Charlotte all season long have seemed to be these wire-to-wire type matchups, at least towards the end of the game. In the fourth, when you guys started to go through that lull, I guess, what did you see from your guys that put them in that spot, and how'd you climb out?
I mean, we didn't do the things that we needed to do, and that's, an area that, we're constantly trying to improve upon. There's a standard that we set for ourselves, and we need to hold ourselves to that standard. And tonight we did not. We were outscored in 3 quarters. The last 3 quarters of the game, they outscored us. That's not good enough. So, we were fortunate enough to win, but our expectations are higher than that, and our standard is higher than that, and we did not play to that standard tonight.
What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. It's your boy Brandon, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer for the network, Flannel Sam, ball knower, Red Wings correspondent, all sports knower, and you know what? I wanted to start with that clip because that was after the Hornets game. Yeah. When it's like, hey, they got another win. They handled business. It was a little bit like, hey, why did it get to 7? Why did the league close on the 7? And you saw him step to the podium and say, that's not acceptable. When it's time to handle business, it's BTA. It was crazy to see him step to the podium and say that a year after Monty Williams at the helm. It did not look like this then. And then Jalen Duren stepped to the podium and said, this ain't cool. No, if we have a chance to go out there and effectively put our foot on their necks, we have to do that. Yeah. And what did they do against the Bulls, bro? At halftime, it was 71-29. And they won 132-92. Malik Beasley sets the Detroit Pistons single season 3-point record with 28 games to go?
Yeah. Bye-bye, Sadiq Bey.
It's so much going right now for this Pistons team that moved to 28 and 26. They're a game out of 5th place, 2 games out of 4th place, man. And this is where I like the question we're going to get into a little bit later about their ceiling. But just to focus at least in on this game right now, this is how you want to see them look. Everybody got playing time, including Lindy Waters.
Hey, shout out Lindy Waters. I don't think he's going to do much for this team.
That was not very enthusiastic at all.
Was not very confident at all in this man.
He's got some human victory cigar vibes, but that's all right. Shout out Lindy Waters.
Hey, and so you know what? Let's get Rod Beard in, drum rolled in for the Woodward Pistons segment. Hey, yo! Shout out and welcome to the legend, Detroit News, Rod Beard. And you know what? Asking the trainer, I see you, brother. He was like, see you in San Fran. See you down there for All-Star, man. I cannot wait. Rod, I can't wait. They let me in there, bro. Do they understand the problem that's going to be?
You're a security risk. You're a security risk.
You're right.
But, hey, take it away with Rod's thoughts, man. These Detroit Pistons, 28 and 26. They have one more game. They can be at the All-Star break up 3 games above 500 and be in a position to really take hold of that 5th seed on the other side of that All-Star break. Rod's thoughts. Take it away, brother.
I ran some numbers. Real quick, do the Pistons have their longest losing streak or longest winning streak of the season? Which one is more?
5-game
win streak.
Win streaks.
They have not lost more. Yeah, they have not lost more than 4, and that's the 0-4 start. They lost 3 straight.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
That's a stat.
Damn.
Because one of the things that we continue to say, Rod, we talked about this the last couple years, is who are they after a couple losses? And last year, obviously, they piled up. And there was a lot of different factors where you could see that the team really didn't have the rotation pieces necessary to really stave that off, and they didn't have it from the coaching. This season, they've put that all together, and they've been able to stave off going on those long losing streaks, which I believe we have to say is helping to bolster what they are right now. And I think that their ability to build that confidence over time right now, along with the chemistry that they have, all these other teams around them are looking very, very dysfunctional. Indiana has surprised me, but it's because they're not as dysfunctional. They're one of the teams that has their horses ready to go, but there's a lot of other teams there where I believe the Pistons, in my opinion, are firmly setting a 6th seed.
Yeah, and the low point of the season, 11-17. What are they since that? 17-9, and that includes that little streak where they won 10 out of 12. They won at Phoenix, at the Lakers, at the Kings. In that little spurt, they only lost to Denver, and I think Indiana was the other one that they lost there. And this is the 3rd time they've been over 500. So all of that is to say they're at the height of their season, the peak of their season, where they can start running a few of these games off. They beat Chicago tonight. They go in at 3 games over 500 and come out of the break still on a kind of road trip. They got San Antonio. They got a few other games, but we talked about the strength of schedule in the second half of the season. This is very much possible that we're talking about a 6 seed, 5 seed, something like that, if they can get on the run.
I think everything that you just said in terms of them possibly getting a 3 games over 500 going to the All-Star break, the difficulty of the schedule, 5 or 6 seed, I think this all relates to what I'm about to ask. Is Cade Cunningham a legitimate MVP candidate, like to actually win the whole bleeping thing?
Tell me where they finish. They finish as the 3 seed in the East. I can consider it if they're the 3 seed. To go from the worst record in franchise history to go to the 3 seed, we can sit down at the table and have that conversation.
Yeah, and it's amazing when you see the effect that he's having on winning this year because, Rod, we heard for a couple years, like, oh, is Cade affecting winning? We heard this from a lot of different detractors. And I know Flannel 7 myself, sometimes, as what you did to this desk one time with your head, we all wanted to do the same thing. It's like, bro, find brick wall and just bang it into it because it's like, we know the level of player that Cade Cunningham is, but to see it finally starting to play out this way, where he's not just taking the leap individually and the team is taking a marginal step forward, which we would have all been okay with, but the leap he's taken is like nuclear and the team is following right along behind him as well. And even looking at a guy like Malik Beasley, who's played with some pretty good players in his career, right? Yeah. He was just with Giannis. But his best years over the last 5 seasons is right here. And some of his best numbers for his career, when you just look across it, including his advanced stats, like his highest PER, his player efficiency rating in his career is here with Cade Cunningham. And that's something that I'm starting to see with a lot of these players. It's not just the coaching and the development that I believe is helping them take the step forward. I think it's the maturation and the leadership and the facilitation of a Cade Cunningham because nobody can do anything with them. That same hand, reverse pivot spin, it's ignorant, Rod.
It's butter.
He did that like 4 times, and sometimes he's doing it in positions where I'm like, I would get benched if I did that. Like he would just doop-de-doop like his Globetrotters. And then it's right at the rim, and now he's finishing like, hey, you're not going to give me foul calls. I don't care anymore. It's layup on your face, bro. Like what he's doing right now, I continue to ask, like, I don't know how much more his ceiling is this year, but he's already unguardable. And that's why I do think it's a fair question that that Flannel's asking.
Well, it's different when you got fully functional legs and you don't feel pain and you don't have other injuries and you got and no shade to any previous Pistons teams, but you have a legitimate veteran squad with shooters around him. And Brandon, we've been saying this since the beginning of the pod in the Cade zone. If you put pieces around Cade, he will thrive. He is not a go out and score 40 every game. He is like last night. Give me 20, 6, and 7. And that's kind of an off game for him. That's not even a really good game.
That's almost his pedestrian
toward,
games.
Right. That's his. Yeah, I played, but I got 26 and 7. It is very much a 25 kind of 9 assists and 7 rebounds is his average this year. That's more of what he needs to be, but you need pieces around him. You need a roller like a Jalen Duren. You need a three-point shooter. You need professional kind of wings like a Tobias and a Tim Hardaway to kind of make this work. And a defender, so he doesn't have to be the main defender and wear himself out throughout the game. So you bring in Asar, you bring in some other guys, Ron Holland, who can help with some of that. And now you got Dennis Schroeder, who can guard those smaller guards. Yeah, this has all of the makings of being a really good turnaround year and a playoff year, not play-in year. And I mean, I'll say I was wrong. I will continue to say it. I was wrong at the beginning of the year. I said, if these things happen, the chemistry works. And we see that the chemistry works. We see what the locker room looks like and all of these guys playing together and wanting to play together, wanting to be together. Who says don't trade me at the trade deadline? Who says that?
Yeah,
because
Detroit
is not Detroit is not a place where free agents want to come, and they might be changing that narrative a little bit.
I think that they are. I really definitely believe that they are. And shout out to JB Bickerstaff and everything that he's doing as well. But KG, what up, though?
Right, I tried to tell you. My initial prediction was 35. Then I brought you 38. And, we kind of had a good chuckle about it. But I was being for real.
You were right.
I was being for real. But, no, seriously. And Kool-Aid had brought up Malik Beasley, who is just having an amazing season. And shout out to Weezy D313 in the chat. He calls him the best free agent signing in Pistons history. And at this point, I mean, it's kind of debatable. I mean, it really is, man. When you look at just what he's been able to do for this Pistons lineup, I mean, we all knew he was a good shooter, but I don't think anybody was expecting to get the Malik Beasley that we've gotten. It's almost like he's taken another step in terms of his game and just the level of intensity that he brings to the court. What do you attribute to that? Is it just the fact that he has a great distributor in Cade Cunningham? Is it JB Bickerstaff working some of his magic? Is it Fred Vincent? Can you tell me what is behind the Malik Beasley that we're seeing as a Detroit Piston?
Oh, that boy just be wide open.
Yeah, well, that's part of it too.
And even when he's not wide open, they get him the ball in the right spots. This is just really situational and circumstantial that you find the right team at the right time. And I remember the Sadiq Bey year and thinking, like, Sadiq is on one. This dude he was pulling from everywhere. And Malik is there with 28 games left. Like, when Sadiq broke that record, it was a big deal. Like, this is the three-point record for the Pistons. And 20-something, we're not even at the All-Star break.
Yeah,
we're talking about him breaking this record.
Yeah, and I do want to be fair to Rod. One of the things, especially as writers and people who want to make sure that you told me when we are, making sure that we have our audience up to date on what we believe, make sure we steer in the right way. Hey, wait for that 20 to 30 game mark, and then you're able to lock in more or less those predictions. But KG was one of the more bullish, and the rest of the crew too. They all picked higher win totals than I to start the season, and it's awesome to see because there were also a lot of fans who were very, very bullish on the Pistons. Man, I got a whole lot of receipts, and it was awesome to see. But when we talk about a Malik Beasley, one of the cool things about him too is he's shooting almost 41% up from behind the arc on
a lot of attempts.
Yeah, 9.5, almost 10 attempts a game.
Jesus
Christ.
This
is his highest amount. I'm looking through it. His highest amount of 3-point makes and his highest amount of 3-point attempts in his entire career. He's getting more efficient, and he's played more minutes in other years. That's what I'm saying. Like, this offense is so fast. And one of the things I know he's aided by, and really all this team, Ron Holland, Asar Thompson, Marcus Sasser, is how quickly they're able to turn defense into offense. This team is grabbing a rebound off, and they're just boom, up the court quickly. They're throwing lobs to each other. And point Asar, anything Asar. Any position Pazar, bro. Like, Asar Thompson right now is going out there and absolutely setting the tone from a physicality standpoint, both defensively and on the offensive side. To see him just continue to punish people. Like, I'm walking to the rim and I'm dunking it. You can go along for the ride. That, to me, was pretty impressive for a guy who's been trying to just get his rhythm back all season long.
Yeah, things are just coming together, absolutely. And on the Malik Beasley piece, again, it is you have the greenest of green lights to shoot because we trust your shot selection and that you're going to make the right decisions on which shots are there, and they're just falling. But again, this is what we said. Cade needs a three-point shooter who's in the 39-44% range. And he's not starting. So some of this is just you need him to be in that second group and be the leader of that second group. And we've gone back and forth. Should he start? Should he not start? No, let him be. Don't fix what isn't broken. And Malik Beasley is not broken by any stretch of the imagination.
Speaking of veteran free agent signings, Rod, what do you think of the resurgence of Tobias Harris lately, and how much do you think that can affect the team moving forward in a positive way if he keeps it up?
Run tape?
Yes. Rod did tell us.
He was.
At the beginning of the year, that he will settle into, at the right time, he will settle into it. It can impact the rest of the season immensely if he continues to be 18, 20-point a game Tobias, because it takes some of the pressure off. And it means that starting unit is getting out to leads, probably. If Cade is scoring, Tim is scoring, and you're getting something from Jalen Duren, anything Tobias adds to that means that instead of being down 10 or 15, you're within 5 points or you're up a few points on some of these teams. And that matters in games like last night. In a Chicago game where they had played you tough a little bit last couple weeks ago on the first. Now you're talking about being way ahead, and now just, hey, can you hold on to a 30-point lead? Okay, cool. So that veteran leadership and that veteran consistency was one of the keys to make this whole thing work, and now we're starting to see that a little bit more, especially with Tobias.
I mean, Rod, this is a little different. He out there playing defense too. Like, come on now. You know Tobias don't play no defense, but this is crazy. But I got to get your opinion on what you've seen from Jalen Duren so far as well, because he is somebody that at the beginning of the year we were very critical of, and somebody that we felt like just needed to show us a little bit more. And even he went to the podium, over the last couple games and said, I was playing soft. I wasn't really going out there and doing,
He used a lot of coarse language.
Yeah, exactly. But he said I was playing on some soft-ish, So what is your takeaway from Jalen Duren? What are some of the things that you've seen in his improvement so far this year?
I think it's the mental side of the game, that recognizing that yourself. When people say stuff on social media or your teammates are talking to you or whatever, you just, you can brush that off. But when you realize that yourself and you can go out and change that, that's what shows the maturity. But then that's also going to make you a better player. When you say, yeah, looking at this tape, I could have done this. I could have rotated over and helped out or run down the court a little bit faster and hustled or dove for that loose ball. All of those things start to play in. But again, I think some of that is having those vets around it. This is last year. I don't think he has that epiphany. I don't think he realizes that the same sort of way. Monty's not going to get in his face and tell him that. Maybe JB did. I don't know, but maybe he did. Maybe one of the assistants did. It's the people who are around you who can help to reinforce those messages.
Yeah, and I'm going to get that video. If I can find it today, I will shoot it over to JB, where Jalen Duren was going through practice. And the first time, he was just kind of going, making the layups, making a little bit of dunks. And he was doing his drills where he would catch the ball out about 16 feet from the rim and have to drive in and make the layup with the trainers there. Last year, I don't ever remember them being physical. This year, they're getting physical. In the shoot-arounds, bro, in the practices, they're getting they're agitating him. And he's getting pissed. I'm like, well, it's your coach, but he's getting pissed. And he's like, no, give me the ball. Snatched the ball and then dunked on him. And it's just like to see that, just the differences in between the way that the practices were run last year versus this year. I see that these things, why it's translating to the court, man. And they look happier. They look bouncier. Obviously the start last year, it was weird.
Winning, man.
They're winning. But if you remember last year, we started training camp with questions of Jaden Ivey. We started with him, Monty Williams, literally serving up like we ordered it. Killian Hayes quotes. We asked about Monte Morris and Jay and Ivy. He was like, yeah, but that Killian though. We were like, oh boy. I remember looking at Omari Sankofa, the Free Press, and Mike Curtis. Shout out Mike Curtis, was with the Detroit News at the time. Like, what in the world? Why is he talking about Killian? And Mike was like, he was like, I don't know, Brandon. It was just like, man, it's different. It's night and day. What those coaches are doing, what's going on in the practices is night and day, Rod. and I see it out there in the performance.
When you say Killian Hayes, doesn't it sound like 10 years ago that we were talking about?
I swear it do. I swear it does, right?
Like, that was ages ago. Like, you can say Killian Hayes and Finis Dembo, and they sound like they're in the same time frame.
Right.
Killian Hayes was not 10 years ago. That's crazy.
What okay?
Like him and Sekou in the same class, man. Oh my God. But yeah, I gotta ask you, because I don't think we spoke to you since the trade deadline. I wanted to ask you about the Dennis Schroeder move, and of course, you know, he's had a limited sample size so far. We haven't really seen him ingrain himself into this team yet, but I expect a lot of good things from him. I like some of the early signs, and just the fact that you have another ball handler in that locker room, I think is going to go a long way for this Pistons team. But just give me your take on what you thought the Dennis Schroeder trade was when it first happened. How are you liking him, you know, on playing with the bench unit so far?
I was wondering when all of these names are bouncing around. I'm like, wait, Dennis Schroeder.
I saw your tweet. You put it out there.
That's somebody who could absolutely be a good fit with the Pistons. Let me check this salary. Oh, this salary isn't crazy. Mm-hmm. All right. We'll let the dust settle, and always around trade deadline, let the dust settle before you have these immediate reactions, because people were very much KJ Martin.
Yeah.
No, not KJ Martin. Josh Richardson. No. Bro.
No, that one I was really like that.
Oh, Rod, you remember the Jeremy Grant deal when it was just Jeremy Grant for like a low first round draft pick, and everyone lost their mind? Bro, Rod texts me literally like, let the smoke settle. Like, just let it settle. There's more to this. And then we wound up with what? Jalen Duren and some other fixings. That's what that deal was a part of as well. And I was like, oh, yeah, we'd much rather have this. Definitely much rather have this. So he's been on point with these types of things at these deadlines.
No, and you just have to wait. But I think another veteran presence on that bench unit will help. And you can see I'll say it's coincidental that Marcus Sasser had the game that he had when Dennis Schroeder is here and playing in a more defined role, a more specific role. But
that's what we've been saying for 2 years.
It puts things into place when you have people in their right positions, when you have the other pieces around them. This is looking like a real roster now with people who do specific things and not just hoping Tech is going to start playing D, but you have other people who can play D. Everybody's in the position that they need to be in, and that's why you're starting to see a little bit more success.
Yep, definitely. And I'm so glad that you mentioned Marcus Sasser in that last point, because that's been one of the most constant refrains. And sometimes I don't even know how loud do you get with this, because he is a bench rotation player, but I think he's a very important player if utilized properly. Mm-hmm. And last night you saw him across the board. He didn't miss a shot. 5 of 5, 4 of 4 from behind the arc, and it was the way that he did it. You're right. Put him in that combo guard role. I don't need Marcus Sasser thinking to do anything except for get buckets. People don't stay in front of him. And last night you saw him in a bevy of ways, hitting the step backs, coming off the pick and rolls, because it was just a defined role. If I know, all I got to think about is this shot that I know is probably going to be one of the best shots on the team, versus, okay, now I got to come off the pick and roll and survey. I like him just playing and facilitating off of what his offense can create. And I saw a person last night that looked like he had that type of freedom and flexibility with the minutes that he had.
And by extension, same thing with Jaden Ivey. You don't need him to facilitate, and people want to push him. Well, it's a backup point guard. Jaden Ivey could be. Sure, he could, but he is a 2. He is a traditional 2. You can make him a combo guard if you want to, but he will get to the basket. It's not about his passing. It's about his scoring and his speed and ability to get to the rim.
Yeah, and you know what, Rod, before we wrap up, because I appreciate you. I know you have some meetings today, and you still made the effort to accommodate the schedule. Just a post-All-Star break outlook, because I know we're going to talk a little bit in the second segment about Pistons as well, and just their ceiling, and as well as bring some All-Star news, but just post-All-Star break outlook. obviously they're within play. It's not out of pocket to talk about the 4th seed for the Detroit Pistons, but obviously the team that's occupying that spot right now is one that's punched us in the nose a couple times. But this Detroit Pistons team looks a little bit different, especially with the way that Cade, Beasley, and the rest of this team offensively, like a SAR. Just it's almost like we've been given a new player already. So just your post All-Star break outlook for these Detroit Pistons.
The schedule is. It can make it happen. It could be there. Coming out of the break, you're playing at the Spurs and at Atlanta. Can you split those? Absolutely. Clippers, Celtics, Nuggets. You got the Nets, Jazz, Clippers, and Warriors and Blazers. It's always a West Coast trip, so that's always a little bit troublesome. But are you going into Utah and winning? Yeah, probably.
Yes,
can you go win at the Clippers spot? Yeah. Golden State, are they scaring you right now? Not at all. And Portland, you could sweep the West Coast trip. Conceivably. When was the last time you were able to say that? That you could walk into the Jazz, Clippers, Warriors, and Blazers and feel like you could win that thing.
These were always your litmus tests. I remember doing the pods when I was just a young tyke in this. And you were like, talk to me after the West Coast trip, Kool-Aid.
Right.
I'm just like, I'm serious.
But right after that, 2 games against the Wizards, you play the Thunder at home. Even if you lose that, your next road trip, Pelicans, Heat, Mavs. Are you afraid of that?
You gotta win.
Not at all.
Man,
all of that to say is in the next maybe 15 games or so, can they go 10-5? Possibly. It's there. You could be eight games over 500. That's talking 4 seeds at that point.
Man.
So the schedule very much sets up where that could be it. And the last 2 games of the season,
you talking about home court advantage? First round?
Stop it.
I brought this up.
I'm gonna pour water on all this. The last 2 games are against the Bucks. So
be big boys, Pistons.
That could be a determiner of that 4 or 5 seed. It could be the Pistons in the 6 seed playing the Knicks in the 3 seed.
Ooh, Madison Square K, dog.
What if we not said in any of this conversation, play in? Those are 2 words that we have not put together in this conversation at all.
That's worst case scenario now at this point.
Rod don't even know. He's throwing up the lob for the next segment already. He don't even know.
If you play a little bit below 500, you talk about play in. And we haven't talked about it at all today. That's how far we've come.
Listen, I brought this up in the Swisher break question. I tried to say, after All-Star break, this team could really do something. Rod, just say they're going to win 40 games, man. It's okay. Just say they're going to win 40 plus. It's all right.
28 and 26, 12 more games.
They're going to win 40 games.
Hey, let's go, boy. Fire it up.
40 games.
Right, you know what? Flannel, just really quickly to your outlook. Or do you want to give it on the other side of the break?
You know what? Let's give it on the other side of the break. Rod, I know you got places to be, but we always appreciate you.
When in doubt, just ask KG. If you want to know what I think, just go ask
There
KG.
you go. There you go. Great minds think alike.
That's probably some of the highest praise you've gotten in your life from Rod Beard,
man.
Absolutely.
Come on.
That's an absolute legend.
But listen, I'm a first round pick for a reason.
It was cool
Y'all
too,
knew
man. I
this when
saw
you
some of the
drafted.
comments from the Woodward Pistons, and someone was like, "Thank you, Mr. Rod Beard, for signing the basketball or football for my son." I'm like, "Yo, Rod is a legend, man.
He is.
He is an absolute legend, man of the people, and sports editor in chief as well. At the Detroit News, that little thing, right? Rod Beard, absolute legend of a professional and a human being. Thank you for your time today, bro. Absolute fire segments.
Thanks, Rod.
Gentlemen, have a wonderful show and a wonderful week.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Go
Thanks,
Pistons, man. Hey, just BTA the Bulls. Just one
They
more.
already did it once.
Go in there to the All-Star break. And you know what? Enjoy your time off, because I'm telling you, with a team that has that type of rhythm, that type of chemistry that's building, you give them a little bit of time off, and now their legs are fresh. You know what I mean? When you're working out and you're going to the gym every day, then you take the weekend off, then you go in on Monday, and then you feel like prime LeBron.
And when is the last time we've been able to say they're 500 at the All-Star break? Like, it's been a long time since we had a Pistons team that was 500 or over at the All-Star break.
That's why we have to reset these expectations. At the 30-game mark, or we said playoffs. At the 20 game, we said play in, but we instantly realized this team needs to go and snag that 6th seed and smack the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. And now we're looking at it realistically. The Pacers still don't scare me. And Milwaukee, they still have Giannis and Dame, so I'm going to always pay them their respects. But to this point, Giannis and Dame has them 1 game ahead of the Pistons.
1 game ahead. It was honestly a little bit shocking seeing the standings. I know Giannis has been out for the last, I think, 4 or 5 games, but seeing the Milwaukee Bucks 1 game ahead of the Pistons, it was... Obviously, I've been paying attention, but I probably need to be paying attention a little bit closer because I didn't even know that until this morning. It's incredible, but it also speaks to the run that the Pistons have been on as of late.
It just feels good when you know they can compete against any team in the NBA pretty much.
They finally
make
good on that
Do
promise.
you know they tied a Bulls franchise record for the biggest halftime deficit last night? Like that was an ass whooping they put on them last night, man.
That was absolutely
crazy.
BTA. You know what? Let's get into this next segment. Gotta get Kavasi Chase summertime in on this Pistons conversation as well. Shout out again to the legend Rob Beard and to the Detroit Pistons for what they're doing heading into this All-Star break. NBA did send over how the brackets are going to shape out for the All-Star game as well. So we're going to talk about it because Osar Thompson and Cade Cunningham could be facing each other for the All-Star game title. Wow. That's pretty crazy, man, the way they got this thing kind of figured out this year. But hey, we're gonna jump into it. What friends we gotta say what up though to JB Smith?
I gotta tell about merch. Yes, you are correct. Some of that Woodward Sports merch that you can go out and get yourself. All you got to do is head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. We got new designs for you every single week. You know we got the LFG Red Wings t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts as well too for you. And you can't forget about the Woodward Tigers as well. You know, training camp is starting up pretty soon. That season is going to be here before you know it. So you got to be decked out in some Woodward Sports gear where you're down at Comerica Park. So head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab, and get swagged out.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Attention all skiers and snowboarders, get ready to send it on a 14-foot drop-in ramp with 3 custom features at the brand new Jars Utica location parking lot on Saturday, February 22nd from 1 to 5 p.m. It is a jam style competition judged by 3 guest pros. $8,000 in cash up for grabs, so I hope you're ready. Register over at jarscannabis.com/Jars Rail Jam to sign up. This is open to skiers and snowboarders. You must be 21 or over to participate in this contest, and there are only 50 participants, so you have to go out there and sign up as soon as you can. Remember, D-Mac and Stick will be down there doing a special broadcast from 2 to 4 p.m. Spectators are always welcome. The event is free to attend. There's free food with any Jars Cannabis purchase that you pick up, live DJs, giveaways, drop in, cash out, and get railed? Still sounds weird.
Come get real.
Hey, you know what? JB Smooth, sometimes he making y'all money. Sometimes he making sure y'all know about Soroki's with the lunch. he's also looking out for y'all, man, if you're trying to get real. So shout out to JB Smooth, WUW Sports' MVP in the TD booth. You heard it there from him. You can clip him. He don't want to say it.
JB like to get real.
Hey, you know what,
I said that in context.
Hey, you know what? Since he's in the mood, then let's satisfy that like button.
Let's go get real right now.
Let's not waste this.
Hey, y'all know what time it is, man. Hey, the Pistons put belt to ass last night, and you could put finger to button right now by go ahead and smashing that like button real nice and real slow for the WUW Crew. Hey, let's get cozy together. It's cold outside, baby. You said my chest on fire, bro.
That's the Pistons. My chest is on fire.
I'm gonna get you a leather suit in a minute, bro.
The Pistons, burning full of love for the Pistons right now, man. Hey, to the point that the expectations, it was so crazy seeing them lose those games last year, seeing Cade Cunningham at the podium, seeing Monty Williams literally on repeat. It seemed like he was stuck on repeat every press conference, every media availability, versus this year where we get a coach who will step to the podium and punch his team in the face for winning. It just wasn't pretty. It wasn't my standard. And I'm like, you know what? Remember the first day I told you guys, when we got to talk to him, that's a coach's coach, man.
Yeah.
And to be able to see the effect that he's had on his team, we already knew he was going to have a chance to raise the expectations, raise their output over what we thought because of what we've seen him do in the past. But who knew it was going to look this good by All-Star break? And I think we definitely have to talk about where's this team's ceiling.
Man, I'll tell you what. It's certainly higher than it was even a month ago, honestly. We're talking about 45 wins as a real possibility. We're talking about getting into the playoffs as potentially a 4 or 5 seed. We even flirted with the idea of home court advantage, although, as Rod said, I think it was probably a little wise to put a little cold water on that. But at the same time, one of the things that you've been seeing from the Pistons lately, which I think really correlates to their success on the season, being 2 games over 500, is you're seeing linear growth and improvement from so many guys. They're giving you so much more than they were at the beginning of the season. We have to start, of course, with Mr. Tobias Harris, who, let's just call a spade, up until these last 8 to 10 games was not really having the year we were expecting from him. He might have been a little bit better than some people like Chase and JB were giving them credit for, but at the same time, they had a leg to stand on. However, in the month of February, Tobias Harris has given you 18 a game on 56% shooting. That's the Tobias Harris that we wanted. That's the Tobias Harris we know and love. Knocking down open mid-range shots, getting to the cup and finishing strong.
I'm so glad, because that was the one thing that I'm sitting here like, man, like I didn't expect athleticism. I didn't even expect some of the defense we're seeing. But when me and KG talked about it, and then we talked about it, so I expected at least the shooting splits.
Yeah.
February is more in line with what I thought we would get from Tobias Harris. Yep. It just took us, 3-4 months to get there.
3 or 4 months to get there. And I'm glad that Chuck Brewer's mentioned this. Asar and Duran have both taken huge steps. With Asar, you want to talk about numbers in the month of February for Asar Thompson. I've got him, because of course I do. He's averaging 14, 6, and 4 points, rebounds, assists, with 2 steals on 67% from the floor, and along with the steals, also giving you a stellar defense in all kinds of different ways, basically being able to guard 1 to 4, maybe even 1 to 5 on any given night, depending on who the 5 is. Asar has been lethal in the month of February. He's giving credence to the WUW 313s of the world, who give him credit for his foresight, was saying even back when he was just coming back from his blood clot that no, he is every bit as good as Amon, he's just not getting the usage.
Let's go.
I'll tell you what, these February numbers, they look like Amon Thompson numbers, but more efficient. I'll say that. And Asar Thompson, the reason that he wasn't able to give you anything at the beginning of the year is because he literally has missed 22 games. He missed the beginning of the season due to coming back from his blood clot. So that's absolutely huge. You can definitely see that as a correlation between Asar Thompson being back, Asar Thompson now being in the starting lineup, and the Pistons having a ceiling which is way more than we thought that it was, even, like I said, a month ago.
Yeah, it's the thing. Like, Asar Thompson's leap was the one that I thought we were going to see a little bit more last year, but now I'm realizing the coaching makes so much of huge difference. Like we didn't know how bad it was going to be coaching wise.
Right.
And so seeing him this year with JB Bickerstaff, you see him being put in positions that we all wanted. Point Asar. When you can go back and re-roll the tapes with the draft coverage. We told you guys I sat here, we told you the sources and what they told us between the two players, and what made me really, really gung-ho about Asar Thompson. And now we're really starting to see those things on display a lot more, that they're putting the ball in his hands and are putting him in a better position to succeed rather than go stand in a corner. Now, those are some of the things that we saw last year. They took the ball out of his hands. They took him out of pick and rolls. But this year, not only do we see guys like Asar Thompson running the pick and roll with Cade, but we see Tim Hardaway doing it, or even Cade step up and set the pick and roll. Like, the offense is so much more dynamic, and it's taking advantage of the fact that you really got a lot of guys between 6'4" and 6'8" who can all pick and roll and who can all handle the rock, who can all facilitate in that situation, who can all pick and pop. All of them can do that. Even Ron Holland and Asar Thompson are raising Ron Holland more than Asar to this point have raised their outside shooting efficiency as well. So it's like everything is working for these guys. And when you look at players like highlighting those three, that's why I say when Ivy went down, Jalen Duren and Tobias have it. They just had to give it. And that's why it was so reassuring to hear Jalen Duren say, yeah, I was playing soft. That's the guy that I have never criticized a player like that. It was tough, bro. I've never criticized a player like that, probably ever as a Pistons fan or ever in the media, but it was like, no, bro, you got a whole nother level. And there's still more to his ceiling.
It is.
But him stepping forward, Tobias and Asar has just been amazing.
But like Jalen Duren, I'm so glad you mentioned him. At the beginning of the season, he was averaging like 9 points and 9 rebounds,
Not even a double-double.
and was playing soft defense and wasn't really controlling the paint. In the month of February, he's given you 13 and 11 while not playing soft and while controlling the paint better, while looking more engaged.
Those stocks went up.
The stocks go up while running the floor and actually getting fed. And I think that plays a little bit of a role in his engagement on the offensive and defensive end. But still, no matter how you had to get it, I'm just glad that we have it from Jalen Duren, because the Jalen Duren that we're seeing now is miles ahead of what we were seeing at the beginning of the year. And I think it has played a huge role in getting you a couple of extra wins. If Jalen Duren doesn't improve like he has, the Pistons are under 500 right now. I really believe that. Maybe a game or two, but still, those are the type of games that make a difference in playoffs and play-in, which we all know you don't want to be in the play-in. Because if you lose in the play-in, you don't even technically make the playoffs.
And if it's right there for you, it's yours right now, which means guess what? Your destiny's in your hands, Detroit Pistons. You know what? They know that. They've all continued to say playoffs. And I want to ask them specifically next time I can, because when I asked Duren about his standards, he said playoffs. I want to ask him, does that mean when you first said this from the beginning of the season, play-in, or were you guys serious? We are a top 6 team. And if Ashton's yelling that stuff, trust me, there's some confidence that it's getting boosted with his proximity to that team. These guys believed. They believed last year. They knew last year was more of an indictment on so many other things except for what they actually could have achieved. It's just they didn't put it together from a coaching standpoint. To hear them talk about at Media Day this year and several other times throughout the season how much more easy the information is to understand from J.B. Bickerstaff, how much more easy it is to understand where to be on the court with this new coach is crazy to me. You see these young players right now, from even a Marcus Sasser. Troy was making the picks.
Yeah.
He was making the picks. But even with a Marcus Sasser, an Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey before he went down, Cade Cunningham's maturation. Man, it's a beautiful thing to see right now. This meshing well with Malik Beasley going absolute flamethrower and the other vets giving you some marginal support.
No, it's been nice to see JB Bickerstaff actually embrace these young players. And y'all know what I'm kind of hitting to when I say embrace. You know, the whole Jaden Ivey situation. That shit was kind of ridiculous with Monty. I'm not going to lie. But just ultimately, he's been able to develop the young talent. And that's the biggest difference in this regime versus other ones. He's actually developing the players. Like you said, why do you have Asar Thompson standing in the corner? Like, you're actually going out there and you're playing to some of these players' strengths. And you're seeing the fruits of that labor, even from players like, you know, Asar to Jaden Ivey, like you said, even down to Marcus Sasser. You have seen the improvement throughout the year for each and every one of these guys, man. And it's just been very, very nice to see. And it's been hard, bro, because I came up here and I said I wasn't going to change my expectations, even though the Pistons have been playing great. You know, all this is cool, but I needed to see it first, and I didn't want to change my expectations, because anything past 35 wins to me is an added bonus, because, you know, nobody expected the Pistons team that we are getting this year, just in terms of the fire they play with, the effort they give night in and night out, and really just being in damn near every single game they've played. Like, we can literally count on one hand the amount of times they've been blown out. But with that being said, man, I think I'm starting to change my tune a little bit because I really see the ceiling for this team being a top 5 seed and possibly winning a playoff series.
And that's my thing. After that 30-game mark, that's why I told y'all that top 5 seed to me.
Yeah.
That is where I want the expectation to be. Not that you say, oh, if they don't get it, then you say, what a bad season. You didn't meet the expectation. No, it's just what we see out of this talent. The dysfunction from some of the other teams, how well coached, not just how well coached they are, but the synergy that's between their young players, their young star, their vets, and their coach. That synergy right now is just working. Even when Malik Beasley hit the 3 to go over to take the franchise lead in 3-pointers in a single season, look at his teammates. Stu was running out of court hugging him, and somebody he played ball with since high school, Dennis Schroeder, instantly is like celebrating. My man just got here.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Schroeder got a chance to talk about it. He's like, man, I'm actually pretty pumped up to be here at his first media availability that he got out of practice. So,
but why? Because they're building up the culture. The culture is changing with the Pistons, much like we saw it with the Lions. Everybody think that word
gotta get that credit too.
Yeah, everybody think that word is just thrown around, but when you start with building a culture and giving players a guideline as to what it means to be a Detroit Piston and what it means to play here, that makes everything else easier, man. The X's and O's can always get figured out, but they had to get that losing stink off of them, and they finally got that shit off of them, and you seeing them flourish, bro.
Would you happen to say that they're just playing basketball right now? You know, they're just playing effing basketball.
Pretty much.
It's almost the Todd McClellan way. JB Bigstaff just came in and say, hey, this is the information in a digestible way for you all. This is where to be. And you just see their natural talents taking over. And you know what, Summer? You've been very bullish on these Detroit Pistons all season, man. You were looking at 40-something wins. Talk about this, man. These Detroit Pistons and their expectations for you the rest of the way.
They're playing on another level right now. I still can't get over yesterday's commanding 40-point win. And congratulations to Malik Beasley. I mean, he's been absolutely sensational all season long. And, of course, Cade Cunningham, I mean, he's doing what he does best.
Yep.
He even 4,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 1,300 assists.
Whew.
The third fastest player to do that. I mean, just a great all-around player. And overall, this team is just – the energy just seems contagious. Everyone's contributing, and they're just having fun. And to your question, they're not just playing basketball; they're putting on a show.
Hey,
So,
you brought the bars,
say.
right?
Yeah.
Confirmed.
The bars.
I'm just being honest.
That is confirmed.
You know.
What about Kavasi HS? What up, though, brother? These expectations for these Detroit Pistons.
I mean, like 6 seed. I don't think they're going to be a play-in team. I think they're fighting for the 6th seed. I mean, they're definitely going to be playing in the postseason. We're going to see LCA get its first taste of postseason play, whether that be with the Pistons or with possibly the Red Wings as well. But I mean, the team's trending in the right direction. Hopefully, Ivy is going to continue to get healthier, and if there's a chance that maybe we could see him late in the season, or in possibly like that first round playoffs, like that could be the extra spark we need to get us past the Knicks, because like they're easily the easiest team for us to beat in the first round.
You know what? And I'm glad that you said that. I don't know if we even reported this. I did on socials, but I don't know if we ever did on the show. And I had some video as well of Jaden Ivey back at the Pistons Performance Center, walking around. He has his walking boot on, but he was smiling, man. And I know that at that point in time last week, they said he will be reevaluated in another 4 weeks. So there is an opportunity for him to. I know a lot of the guys are probably like, hey, just get healthy first. But if he is healthy and able to play, then that is going to be a definite added boost. That's a good point, Chase.
I mean, if we're talking about them winning a round in the playoffs, you might need a Jaden Ivey. So that gets me pretty fired up as well. And I promise, if you guys oblige, this will be the last time that I do this.
Okay.
One attaboy from JB and one from Chase for the last 8 games. Just one.
JB, you got to give it up.
For the last 8 games, Tobias Harris has been everything you wanted him to be and more.
Come on, because I got a question for Flannel after this too that I want him. Maybe he can oblige. What, Chase?
No, I want a better rebounder. Like,
man, come on. A better rebounder? The man is playing 2 ways, bro. What do you want from him? What more do you want from him? A better rebounder.
Dude, 3 rebounds?
What's his career rebounding numbers? What's Tobias Harris' career rebounding numbers?
All right, then you're going to get
I've been consistent. I've said consistently. I've said like 18 and 7. I said consistently
hate, dog.
6 to 7 rebounds at least. You got to average that, and then I'm happy. That's all I'm asking for. That's not too much.
Come on, dog.
Give Jalen Duren some fucking help.
Bro, I've been critical of Tobias, and even I know that's out of line, bro.
Dude, I've been consistent about it the whole year. I've asked for the same numbers.
So you wanted to have a triple-double every night.
No, I said 18 points and 6 to 7 rebounds. That's all I'm asking for. That's not too much. But he's been there with the points. Get your rebounds up.
Here's the thing, though. They're 2 games. They're 2 games over 500. If the Pistons were faltering, I would be right there with you. To me right now, and I'm not trying to sun you guys at all. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you guys a bit of a teachable moment, because if you can't give credit, then you turn into the guys with Tobias derangement syndrome. And again, I've said this to you, JB. I'm never telling you to say that you were wrong, that the signing hasn't been a little underwhelming at times. I'm not trying to victory lap, because I got off the Tobias train for a while. I'll admit that. Just these last 8 games.
We all have. We was all critical.
I know.
To start the year, we was all critical. But when the man gives you better results, you gotta turn it around. It's the same thing with Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren was playing poorly to begin the year. We all criticized him. He has since then played better, and we
because we knew they could too.
Exactly.
Dude, you never got told growing up that you don't get credit for doing what you're supposed to do. Like, congrats, you did your job. Like,
but that's it's pretty. It's picky.
Dude, you don't get credit for doing what you're supposed to do. How many gold stars do you get for making your bed this morning, KG?
I understand that, but you got to give him credit for going out there and executing. He's doing it, bro. They don't even have Jaden Ivey. They're out there doing it.
Dude, he's paying $26 million. Good. You should be doing at least that.
Hey, I understand, bro. But asking for rebounds out of somebody that's traditionally not a rebounder, I'm good. I'm good.
I just need to shoot and split.
Yeah, just go out there and hit the 3.
Yeah,
that's all
what
I need,
was
bro.
expecting, because I know, like, the way that they do these things, sometimes players fit multiple purposes, including filler. They didn't want to bring in anybody else who might, affect the locker room and those types of things. They wanted guys that wanted to be here. Right now, every player that's here wants to, including Dennis Schroeder. You got to think about it. The deal changed for the Pistons. That means that somebody behind the scenes had to call up and say, "Hey, bro, do you really want to be here?"
Right.
That's what they had to do. Just so people we
that's
know
real.
stuff.
That's the part that's being slept on about that is the guys in that locker room absolutely love Tobias Harris and what he's brought from a leadership standpoint. And I know that's not what we all want to hear, because let's be real, nobody was really excited about Tobias Harris being a Piston.
It wasn't.
It was one of our only options in the offseason, and we went ahead and we did the damn thing. But for what he's brought from a leadership standpoint, Sam, you one of them people. You don't value locker room shit.
I was excited about Tobias Harris. I was.
Okay.
I was excited about Tobias Harris.
I give you that. But I wanted that star. But
everybody
Kane decided
more.
I'm just going to be 2 stars in 1.
But overall, Tobias is giving you enough. Am I saying he's been the best free agent the Pistons have ever brought in? No. But he's done enough to this point to warrant, okay, this was a good
remember
deal.
Last year remember that year when they got Joe Harris for the $20 million?
Yeah.
People keep thinking, oh man, that's the splash they wanted to do. It wasn't supposed to be a splash, but sometimes with a rebuilding team, before you go and you sink that much money into a long-term contract for a player, you sometimes get those cap fillers so that they can either do one of 2 things. Either they're just taking up the cap so you reach the floor minimum and you don't get penalized, and then they also either will not block or will help your star and your young players in development. And with Tobias Harris, he's serving multiple of those purposes. That $26 million becomes next year, at the end of this season, becomes one of the most interesting assets in all of the NBA. It just does. He can still help a contender. You drop Tobias's usage, you're going to see his percentages go back up. And so that 1-year expiring contract, if they decided they wanted to trade, becomes very, very interesting for a rebuilding team. They can get draft picks off of that.
They could.
So it's like, this is very strategic. And is it hurting them, or are they exceeding expectations? And that's why I'm like, you know what? Good on Tobias. I was just hoping to get the number, the shooting. Obviously, you want more, but I know all of our first options initially was like, go out there and get a gunner. But or at least mine was. I wanted them to go out there and get that star next to Cade. But a lot of these other players have stepped forward in a way that's just like, you know what? And this is where I'm at. I'm glad that they chose. I'm glad that Trajan chose, despite any of the narrative from any of us, us, chat family, other content creators, media, to say, you know what? We value the chemistry that we have going on in this room right now. We value what it's doing for these young players and for this team to help exceed expectations. So instead of looking at what they haven't done right, they've looked at, they've all stepped up and we've seen it bolster now this team going forward. And just one quick thing. I see you in the chat, WeezyD313. He says, thank you, Coach Casey. Dwayne Casey has been one of those instrumental figures in the background, because at the press conference when they were announcing that he was going to the front office, you heard all the players say things like, man, he was our guy. Like I could depend on him for everything. Like, they were young players. They're like, yo, he was teaching us almost like a pops. One of the guys said, like, how to dress, how to be, how to walk, how to prepare, in this NBA. And when that went away for a lot of these guys after just 1 year, for Cade after 2 years, they brought in Monty, a player who we know the development and the nurturing and the I'm your homie, I'm your coach. That went away for these guys. But Dwayne Casey was still in the background, and we saw him out at some of these games still being active with these players. And now you see him still with the organization, vice president of business operations, having an impact in the community, and still with these players as well, still able to be a mentor for them. So shout out to Coach Casey, man.
Hey,
big shout out.
Shout out to Coach Casey. And I want to circle back to Chase and JB at one point before the end of the show. Not now though, because
let's just take a quick one and come back to it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think there's someone else we need to give a few more flowers to.
Ooh.
And you know what? Let's do that after the break.
Let's rock. Hey, I think we got to hear from Lady Jane's, and I'll tell you guys about that. Why? Because at Lady Jane's, we take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, a relaxing scalp massage. Sometimes y'all see it right behind the mask chair, a hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment.
Don't be a J-Tug, please.
No. Y'all better ask first. Make sure that it's okay with the stylist. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got
This guy's got a hot girl. Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. You guys got to trust the guy that DMAC trusts, because Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Hey, and we are back, and I know Flannel teased something. I'm going to get to that really quickly. I just wanted to show the people the All-Star bracket. Do you have that, JB Smooth? I sent it to the Wake Up
Woodward.
I got it. Let's show the people that the All-Star bracket and how it lays out for All-Star weekend. Again, I am amped, man. Gonna have boots on the ground there. Shout out to the NBA for allowing Woodward Sports to have this opportunity, and shout out to the Detroit Pistons as well for taking a chance on little old Woodward Sports some years back, and we've continued to grow that relationship. But as you guys see there, it is a bracket style this year. Each team first to 40 points is the one that wins and moves on, and the way that it lines up, you see Cade Cunningham is in Kenny's Young Stars. That's the one that I believe has the defense on their side. But they're going to face an uphill battle in that first game. They face off against Shea, Nikola Jokic, Donovan Mitchell, Wemby, Cat, Trae Young. That's going to be a tough one, man.
You got Shea and Jokic on the same team.
Yeah, that's going to be one.
Well, that's not fair. That's all right.
I mean, but look, Cade got Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Darius Garland. Man, this is going to be tough for them. Tyler Herro, Jaren Jackson, Evan Mobley, and Jalen Williams.
I mean, that's kind of like the B team of all-star teams. I'll just say that. No disrespect. If you're an all-star, congratulations. If we're gonna glaze Cade for making it, I'm not gonna discount anyone else for making it. But there's levels to it, like Jokic and SGA, and we get Jalen Williams and Tyler Herro. Damn good players.
You know what it sets up for, though, right? It sets up for All-Star Cade.
Oh, there we go.
Remember
they win.
Remember the Rising Stars?
Yeah.
And he was on the stage, and he's looking at everybody else. He's like, you know what? I don't think y'all are on my level. And it was what it was, man. And I remember he walked away with that Rising Stars MVP. It'd be interesting because when I look at this is going to be one where you're going to have to get special efforts from that triumvirate at the top. And obviously Darius Garland, you can't leave him out. But those first four guards is where one or two of those guys are going to have to go absolutely off. And I think Cade Cunningham is primed for it.
Oh, man, that would give us a lot to talk about on Monday. I cannot wait for that. But I think we need to acknowledge Malik Beasley even more than we already have. And no disrespect to you guys. We've talked about him, and I can include myself in this, that it's probably taken too long to get to him. But Malik Beasley, I'm just going to flat out say it. I've said at times before the year that he was in contention for Sixth Man of the Year, but he probably won't get it. Malik Beasley, if he keeps this up, should win NBA Sixth Man of the Year. No question about it. For what he's done, giving you 17 a game, on breaking the Pistons single-season three-point shots made record with 28 games left in the season, 42% on extremely high volume, has the second most three-pointers made in the whole bleeping NBA. That's facts. Malik Beasley, we've given him his flowers. I just wanted to put that all out there that Malik Beasley should win Sixth Man of the Year. No disrespect to Peyton Pritchard. He's had a damn good season, but I think Malik Beasley means more to the Pistons than Peyton Pritchard means to the Celtics off the bench.
I was crazy when I said that. I was crazy.
No, that's a bar,
You know what,
man.
KG? Let the flowers rain over you.
Yes.
Seriously.
And here's my question for Flannel. Should Malik Beasley be starting? I'm just playing.
No, he needs to rebound more, though.
I love the WUW Crew.
Crash the fucking boards, man. What are we talking about?
This is amazing. And then I see Dante151 on all caps. Give Beasley his money. Dang it. Yes, he will get it. The new CBA rules disallow the Detroit Pistons from being able to offer him a contract extension right now. But if you have been following along with Malik Beasley, who does not care to put any of his business out there, he's been like, oh no, it's already done. We just got to basically hammer out the details. And this is similar language to what we heard from Cade Cunningham at the end of the season. People were wondering, is he going to sign the deal? Is he not? At the exit interviews, he was like, what? I've been thinking about this deal I know I should be thinking about the losses. No disrespect to that. But Cade was like, bro, I've been thinking about getting this deal done for a minute. I want to win here. Malik Beasley has said the same thing, and it's a special thing to see because we've heard for so long that players don't want to be here. I heard for so long that even if y'all get a number one or a top pick, y'all wouldn't be able to keep LeBron James, y'all wouldn't be able to keep Dwayne Wade or this person or that person, but our guy just signed his extension. Malik Beasley and these guys, Tim Hardaway, they wanted to be here. They want to stay here. They want to win here. And I don't care if people think, well, those aren't the premier free agents. You know what? Tell that to Malik Beasley this year and the rest of the NBA because everybody right now is catching threes to the face. Everybody right now. And I love what he's been able to do as a vet and being able to bring that swag. He just doesn't care. It's like Malik Beasley doesn't care about the hierarchy. And I believe that is infectious. JB Bickerstaff doesn't care about the hierarchy. He doesn't care about, well, that team's supposed to be better than us. And I think that allows a guy like Malik Beasley, Cade Cunningham, JB Bickerstaff and his team to have this type of success that we're seeing right now.
And what's so great about it, too, is obviously I gave you all of the numbers, which hearing that Malik Beasley's second in the NBA in 3 points made is just insane. It makes sense when you look at his numbers and when you watch him, but it's still, I think, like...
He was leading the league at one point.
It's incredible, though, to really take that in. It's also, with Malik Beasley, Because I remember, and I'll go back to one of my darkest days on the network when I was not happy about the Ron Holland draft pick. And I've kind of mentioned this before. I was a little perturbed. I didn't realize that Trajan Langdon, and to be fair, I'd been burned by the previous regime. I didn't know if they would if they really valued shooting at all, or if they would get somebody like a Malik Beasley in the offseason. And I was thrilled with the signing, but with Malik Beasley, if he even gave you what he gave you last year, if he was just another Tim Hardaway Jr. clone, where would this team be? It's the fact that Malik Beasley has been a star off the bench.
Yeah.
That's what's been so incredible, and I think his three-point shooting, his floor spacing, which we don't even talk about anymore because we actually have it. How has that freed up Asar to play his game and not really even have a jump shot or a three-point shot, make him so valuable?
And guess what you just said? You said, how does it free up his game from the aspect of not having to worry about outside shooting? But when you have a Beasley, you can also ask, how does that free up the court for the type of player that Asar is?
Yes.
We're seeing Asar run down wide open lanes. And players are just able, think about some of Cade's assists last night. They were literally bounce passes to wide open Asar Thompson for a dunk. Why? Because are you going to leave Malik Beasley? You not even consider. Do you leave Ron Holland? Because if you leave Ron Holland and he can hit the three at a decent clip now. But you know what else we see? He'll get downhill on you as well. Yeah. He doesn't care. He has this unique ability that when as soon as the ball touches his hands, he's just literally, it seems like he's already dribbling the ball into the lane to try and draw a foul or get to the rack. And so it's like when you have the type of shooting that they have this year, and what are you going to do, leave Cade? It's like pick your poison. Are you going to focus on Asar? Usually they don't, because he's not going to be the focal point of the offense. And so when Cade's in there, his ability to cut, and this is why I can't wait for Jaden Ivey to be back, because Cade and Ivey had this type of rhythm as well.
Yeah.
Cade was catching off-ball threes from Ivey, and Ivey was catching lobs and backdoor passes from Cade because of the type of action they were able to run, because Malik Beasley and these three-point shooters are holding people honest this year.
That's what's so crazy, is because when I've gone to the games, I see it even more up close. When I watch them, I obviously see it too. How many more easy looks the Pistons get this year?
Yes.
How many more Cade is able to create for an Asar Thompson or a Jalen Duren, at least recently, Tobias Harris, Chase and JB's favorite player. But in all seriousness, it really does speak to the fact that there is floor spacing. You've got yourself, the Detroit Pistons, an elite three-point shooter. This year, if you were to just isolate this season, in terms of a three-point shooter who needs somebody to create for him, he's the best in the league right now. Seriously. Just as that off-ball three-point shooter, he's the best in the league right now.
Absolutely. And you know what? DJ Justice in the chat, let's add on to what Flannel started here. I agree with this 100%. Cade for most improved player, Beasley for sixth man, JB for coach of the year.
Yeah.
And Cade should make an all-NBA team.
Yes.
Period. Just period, as is.
Told you.
If they do climb into, you talking about securing home court advantage for a playoff series, he should definitely be one of those guys that gets MVP conversation. Look at the previous years of MVP conversations and look at some of the players that they've talked about, like Apollo Banchero and such. Some young players already in his vicinity. Even a Scotty Barnes to a degree. There was at some points in the season where oh, could he have this because of his effect overall? It's like, no. And none of these guys are better. Even Evan Mobley sometimes gets that type of chatter. I do believe that if you find the Pistons in that top four range, you do also add to the rest of the awards I think they're going to sweep. You add to that some MVP, at least chatter.
Yeah, honestly, and there's a segment that I want to do tomorrow, and we're going to talk about it after the show. I'll just say this. When you look around the rest of the NBA, Cade Cunningham is higher in the MVP discussion, or should be, than you even know.
Yep.
There's obviously a couple of guys who are, I think one in particular is running away with it. I think you all know who that is. But Cade Cunningham is higher up than you guys even think. And if you guys have been really paying attention, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. And I want to really crystallize that tomorrow for you guys. So how's that for a tease? We got a fun Cade Cunningham segment coming tomorrow.
More Pistons, more TPB, huh?
Yeah. Talk Pistons, bitch.
Talk to me about Cade Cunningham real quick. Summertime.
A star. Literally an all-star. The numbers don't lie. I mean, every game he comes out, plays his game, and has just became the the leader for this group, and he just makes everyone better. And it's just great to see him be selected as an all-star, and I'm excited to see what he's going to showcase this weekend.
I am too.
I know.
I am too, because I remember we talked to Beasley, and he said, "Yeah, I got a call, but the All-Stars, they, for the three-point contest, they get an opportunity to decide." When I heard K's name, and I know that he's shooting the three ball decently, my mind just instantly went to something that I don't think that they're going to ever release publicly. I'm going to ask him, but I think Beasley was like, "You know what, K, just get all of your shine," and if he did that, please, lifetime deal from Malik Beasley. I mean, oh my gosh, like I know he deserves to be there, but to give Cade that stage during his ascension,
yeah, I
that's
mean,
real.
And if there's one thing that I will say is that if you look at the numbers, and I'm the biggest Cade, like we're all huge Cade guys here. He probably shouldn't be in the 3-point contest, but that's okay.
Right.
I still love. I'm gonna love seeing him on all of the biggest stages because Cade Cunningham, he's definitely not one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA, and he's certainly not the best on his team. But Kool-Aid, that might be, I know it's a theory, but I kind of like, I mean, if Malik Beasley actually did that.
If he didn't confirm to us that he was asked, but the All-Stars get first dibs, I know, from just what I know, Cade ain't the guy that's like, yeah, let me snatch that. That's just not him from everything that I know. And so that's why I'm just like, you know what? And what I've realized, you talk to the players, they want Cade to get his shine. Tim Hardaway was in the press conferences like, wait, what? Somebody say, yeah, I know he's one of the best guards, and he's top guard in the East. Top. Thank you. Not for real. Amari was like, there we go. Well, you said it. And that's, you see the guys, and you hear them say, no, Cade deserves his. He don't go out there and talk about his. Even Rod and I talk about the fact that sometimes it's almost like, hey, we know you go out there and score 40 while you're probing and searching and looking. Well, why? We see it right now. And these guys love playing around Cade Cunningham. So this is going to be a big honor for him. But take care of business. BTA these Bulls.
Watch you fuck around and win it. See, y'all keep playing. Cade might fuck around and win the 3-point.
I don't understand, and this I know you were just kind of like saying it in passing. I don't understand anybody who wants to encourage a young and up and coming star. Just go out and get 40. History shows that every superstar, every finals MVP type player, like the LeBrons and the MJs and the Magics and the Birds and like Isaiah Thomas,
MVP
however,
finals.
whatever kind of player that you are, even big men like Kareem and Shaq and all of them, they know how to use their teammates. You can't, like that's one of, that is with guys like Jordan, with guys like LeBron, that is probably one of their most important steps in their evolutions as players, being able to use their teammates and get the absolute best out of them. That's when you win, not when you're playing hero ball. Kobe too.
And what did the Pistons, what was the word that they used when they drafted Cade, and it's come true? Connector.
Yeah.
That's it. And we see it on full display here, man. Hey, goodness gracious, I don't know if we talked this much Pistons in a long time.
This is the day to do it. They beat the Bulls by 40.
They smacked them, and they look good doing it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what happened in between? We see certain things. Like, what happened in between these players? That's when it's like, yo, shout out to Kathy, the GOAT. That's the creator of Woodward Sports. But shout out to the Pistons, man. You know what else is the GOAT?
What is?
What's trending?
What's trending? We definitely have to get to that. But
yesterday's was wild.
I got to tell you about
we went off
Mark
yesterday.
White. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac, Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza has a limited time offer continuing throughout the football season. Soroki's is debuting their fresh signature flavored wings this football season. Grab your friends, order New York style pizza, and add fresh wings for the games this weekend. Try one of their 7 different flavors. Visit their website at sorokis.com.
Man, what up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. It's just all like sunshine and roses over here in Detroit Pistons world. What a difference a year and a coach makes, and a GM and a vision. Like, now we get to talk about them in such, like, not just like, yeah, they're improving. We're like, you know, this team is in a playoff spot right now, and the expectation should remain where this is their new floor, and they actually have a little bit more, I believe, that they can go out there and get. And that 5 seed, I'm gonna continue to say it. I think that one's theirs. If they have to play right. This is one of those perfect. As the other teams around you are showing that dysfunction, I think they can lock it down.
That's why I'm going into All-Star break with this momentum is huge for this team right now.
That confidence, man.
And that's why I'm not talking too much smack about the Bulls, because the Bulls are probably motivated to get some comeuppance. But can they is the question.
No,
they ain't got
it's not going to happen.
We got to see, man. I mean, look, the Pistons were able to run the whole bench. They were able to keep some of the guys fresh to get, you know, sometimes. So
Bulls got too many guards, man. They can't hold up.
No,
man.
they're a poorly constructed team. They've been that way for a long time.
We physically manhandled them.
Exactly, and we're going to see it again.
And that's the crazy thing.
We're going to see it again.
If the Bulls would have blown it up more, I know they traded Levine, but if they would have blown it up even more, I could have seen a result, not a 40-point win, but a blowout like this happening. But it's like Vucevic played.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen
wild.
Vucevic just murder the Pistons? Watching him have a poor night last night.
Did you say how many times or every time?
Right. But not last night. Not last night.
You know what, JB? Let's get things sparking word to jars, brother.
Rail
Jam.
Oh, God.
Now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Let's get real with JB Smooth.
Hey, let's rock.
Never gonna live this down. Yo, shout out to the chat family chilling with us all this morning. I got some news for you guys, because look, yesterday I was trying to help you guys out because Valentine's Day is coming up. You could have went out there and bought your girl that new Lego ring for $28K.
I tried.
You know,
on back order.
See, it's on back order.
Dang.
See, it sold out that quick. So now I got a backup plan for you guys. If you head over to one IKEA, they are offering a $20 3-course meal for you for Valentine's Day.
Hey, let's go.
For the broke couples out there.
Hey, let me be a quick Kool-Aid. We frequent IKEA.
For the broke couples, man.
We got too many kids.
Hey, you gonna have that dinner on the table that's gonna come apart too. They fucking cheap ass IKEA table.
You just don't understand the culture.
I'm there, man.
Oh, man. See, it's a 3-course meal at IKEA that you can have right now. You got tomato feta soup,
shit,
mushroom soup, a Caesar salad, or a house salad to start.
Caesar salad.
Do they got any smoked salmon?
Sam, like I'm on it.
Flannel. There
They
you
got
go.
that smoked salmon on there?
No smoked
for
salmon.
$20?
For $20?
I don't know if I order $20 smoked salmon. I'm
no.
good.
What are your main courses? You can have meatballs, Mediterranean salmon, or butternut squash.
Salmon. All right, let's
butternut squash ravioli.
All right.
The Nordic countries are often like in the top 5 for like happiest people. So I mean, like the Swedes obviously know like some things about just like happiness in the home.
I guess.
If you want to like kind of follow their suit.
Chase GPT in the building, bro.
All right.
I like that.
He pretty much saying don't take your women out at all. Just keep them indoors.
I'm saying you should listen to IKEA. They know how to keep people happy.
$20 is crazy. Who's spending their V-Day at IKEA?
No. If a date take you there for $20, man, what's your reaction for Valentine's?
You don't want to know. I don't think you want to know.
Right. You know how many Instagram pictures Summer takes? You can't get caught in IKEA. What the fuck? You can't get caught in no fucking IKEA.
She's like Jamie Bickerstaff. I got standards.
Right.
Well,
at least he tried, I guess. $20.
I mean, my wife does love IKEA, but I don't think she wants Valentine's Day there. Although one of our first, one of our early on dates was putting together IKEA furniture together. That was fun. Actually, I didn't quite enjoy that process, but working together,
Man, they would put it in sitcoms. I remember the first time wifey and I were like, "Yay, we got some furniture." Oh, bro, man, that's a test.
It is. It really is. Like working together and not getting frustrated. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I can see Summer does not approve of the $20 IKEA meal. So,
hey, women, at least if your man do this, at least he trying. That's all I'm saying. At least the man is trying.
It's like you're playing house in IKEA. Like you just go to like this whole other furniture.
Go lay in the bed after the day.
Look, look, bro. We take the whole fam there. Breakfast is cheap. It's good. The lunch is decent.
Come on, dog.
I'm telling. Hey, Wednesday. What is it? Kidsy. I think it might be Kidsy free day today.
On Wednesday?
I got 4 of the
You got the whole IKEA schedule.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Total, bro. Like, hey.
I did not even know that was a thing, but all right. I guess that works as well, too.
It's fun.
It is
like,
fun.
I love looking at all the stuff there.
It just ain't a Valentine's date.
No.
Now, what if it was Target?
Target?
Oh, well, ladies
said
Target. Hey, the women love Target. The women love Target, dog.
Dog.
Oh, my God.
What up, though, Stick? Godfather.
I mean, Stick has a point. What if it's Target, ladies? What if it's Target?
Bitches love Target.
No, that's a fact. What Stick said. And the bitches be in Target, too. You ever just peruse through Target for no reason? You should try it one day.
I don't do that no more.
You'll see some things in there.
No, I can't do.
I only go there with the significant other on the arm, brother.
Yeah, I understand.
Club Target is I'm out the game now.
Yeah. Ain't Target racist now? Like, hey, what people boycotting Target or something?
They are boycotting Target as of right now.
Target racist now?
Something's going on.
Something's going on.
I don't know what's happening right now, but KG, I got a question for you, man.
What up, though?
Because I know you're the vet over here. You've been on the show, been on 3 shows all throughout the day. How quick are you trying to get home after that 3rd show?
Oh, like immediately, ASAP.
Immediately?
Vamonos.
How about this fast?
My man teleporting.
That dude look like me getting in the driveway though.
All right, he's home. He made it, Flannel.
Especially if wifey says she cooked. This how I'm coming in the driveway.
Yeah. How?
Oh shit!
Like, how do you wind up in that situation?
I mean, maybe as KG said, like
dinner's ready.
Yeah. There is nothing like having a wife who can cook.
Oh yeah,
it's the best.
Oh, it's amazing.
Goodness gracious, dog. What is that? Is that Thanksgiving? I wonder what holiday that is. What's the occasion? Goodness gracious.
Oh, you know what the occasion is. You coming home like that? It's been about a good few months since you had it.
Oh, you got that text message.
Yeah, you got that text like, it come on home. Like, all right, bet. I'm on the way.
That dinner's
ready.
That actually like chicken and
you thought I was
broccoli.
talking about your favorite meal? I could be talking about your favorite meal.
I gotta be
do not ever let it get to months plural. At that point, it's damn near not even worth saving for real.
Years, bro. Like he ain't ate in years, bro. My man was hungry.
Y'all listen to my boy Flannel Sam, man. Don't have that. Don't bring that musket energy in here, man.
Don't let it go.
You can't go months. You can't go months without polishing off the shotgun. Man.
No, then you have a roommate.
Yeah.
Then you have a roommate. That's what you got.
Oh shit.
Oh my
What's
God, you guys are crazy. You guys are wild. Hey, I've told you guys before, stop doing all these stuff that you see on TikTok at the gym because you're just gonna hurt yourself once again, like this man.
Oh,
What is he doing? All right, okay. What is he actually? What is that? A
What's
plate?
the purpose of that?
Trying to show off his strength, and then look what happened.
What the fuck? What is he balancing on?
That is a beer bottle and 2 plastic plates.
What did he think was gonna happen?
Man,
Where did?
he might be a little remedial. We just gonna
Somebody recording too. Get better friends.
Right.
He should have told him, "Hey, bro, this is a bad idea. A bad idea."
Yeah.
My boy is not too bright.
Don't attempt it.
But he will fuck you up.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I tell you one thing, he not driving in the driveway that fast, bro. He gets no action at all. If you out here doing shit like this, you get none at all. Like
I went to school with a couple of these guys.
I went to school with a couple of these guys. That's your man's Chase.
Dude, I'd rather be friends with them than enemies.
That's
I'd rather not be around him. Period. How about that? Like that man is he a little on the cousin train.
He did jump on real quick too. Like, yeah, I just bashed my head into a cement block. I would have been probably like Family Guy. Like,
he ain't the brightest knife in the crayon box. So
he is definitely not. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. You guys, do you all enjoy Kool-Aid? Not the person, the actual Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
of course.
Well, sometimes you go and you don't got the Kool-Aid jug, so you got to improvise. So
Oh boy.
Improvise.
Oh my God. Is
Not
that?
in the. Oh, come on, bro.
Yep. Everybody, that is
Wait.
Kool-Aid in a Tide bottle.
All right, nah.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed. Black people ain't never down that bad. Come on, dog. We ain't doing the goddamn Tide bottles, bro.
This is how the orange is the new black. Like this is some prison shit.
I wouldn't even trust that
prison shit.
You know how much
being
rinsing
honest.
out you gotta do in order to even use it? Like, I wouldn't trust this shit. I would still think it's detergent in there.
Goodness.
Why is it? It's in the fridge though.
Nah, I'm good.
How can you have a Tide bottle but not? Where'd the Kool-Aid come from? Doesn't it come in a like black market Kool-Aid or something like that?
What if they made it with the powder and the water? Like you just make it from scratch.
I mean, I guess I'd probably just keep it in like the.
Let's just make it like a regular pitcher.
Let's say, yeah, I'm the same. I mean, maybe this is the pitcher. I don't know.
It's orange. It could be Tang.
But I've seen so many things,
That's off-brand
bro.
Kool-Aid. You got it in the fucking Tide bottle.
I've never seen this.
Strong Aid. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Strong Aid.
Like, how do you even wash the taste of like Tide out of the bottle, bro?
That shit tastes good and wash your clothes. Get the stains out. Like, I don't understand. I'm
had
good.
to improvise. Like he was like, I don't got the Kool-Aid jug, so
I'm never this
Tide.
down bad. I'd have been down bad. I ain't never been that down bad. I'm good. Dollar stores exist, people. You just go get a picture, bro.
Dollar
Used to go there and get my Marusian top ramen.
Right.
I used to, man, bro, college days, golly, and after when my dad was like, "It's on you now, son," I was like, "Yeah," and it became like hot and ready's and top ramen every single night.
There were I mean, I'm gonna piggyback off of you. College days, the college poor stories are. There were weeks where it was like you either go out this weekend or you eat a real dinner. Yeah. Like seriously.
And a couple times I mortgaged my dinner. It was so the wrong decision.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Oh yeah.
But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop in some mailbag while we got some time.
Hey, definitely. Hey, people, get your Feldman Mailbag questions in into the chat. Nick Hedingen, imagine the Family Guy Tide-Aid guy. Oh my gosh. But hey. Get those Feldman Mailbag questions. Let's hear from our friends from Feldman one more time before we jump into this. Give the people some opportunities. And there was a something that I screenshotted earlier that I just wanted to be able to read off from Mr.
Absolutely.
Kenneth.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, thank you, chat family, for being here. As always, you all are the most important part of this thing. Victory show. Shout out to those Pistons. Go blue as well. Smash that like button if you haven't gotten the opportunity to. Just run it up as high as we can get it, especially as these Pistons are going into All-Star break. Cannot wait to get you guys some content. Kenneth Matthews, though, as with the Feldman Mailbag questions coming, he said this earlier. Shout out to Malik Beasley's mom, being from one of my hoods, and Waymo for going to our Coney Islands, one of the hardest areas in Detroit's West Side, Finkel, 6 Mile and 7. Yeah. Shout out, man. It's cool because I seen Kenneth throughout the chat. Yeah. Definitely showing love to us and being engaging. I know today with the Pistons stuff, we probably didn't pay as much attention to the chat as possible, but wanted to be able to at least shout you guys out. Feldman Mailbag questions. Let me see here. Mitten Maid. Can Ward Manuel keep Dusty May in Ann Arbor? And I've seen people earlier, and this is from Mitten Maid. I saw people earlier in the chat talking about, even Xavier D, like, this might be one and done with Dusty May.
I mean, I hope not. The only problem is that Indiana Mike Woodson's gone after this season, and Dusty May's an Indiana alum. I hope that he realizes that Ann Arbor, Michigan is a basketball city. I understand that last year with Juwan Howard, Chrysler Center was like a cemetery at some points, but that was because they were 8-24. Michigan has a storied basketball history, and our fans, Michigan's fans, myself included, man, proud of the way that we showed out last night at Chrysler against Purdue, and hopefully Dusty May sees all that and stays put. Yeah. And if you have to, Ward, give him a raise.
Definitely.
They were 8-24 last year in their first place in the Big Ten this year. Give him a raise. Make him the highest paid coach in college basketball if you have to. I don't even give a damn.
Yeah. Didn't he already say he wasn't going anywhere?
He said
someone asked him that on the podium. Hey, what do you think about Indiana? He's like, I like Indiana. I love what I'm doing here at Michigan.
I think it'd be a bad look if he left now. So I don't know. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Especially with what Michigan can be in this modern day era of sports. It's just like I get the historic aspect of Indiana.
Right.
Come on, Dusty May.
But with Indiana, it's ancient history at this point. They're not a blue blood. I think college basketball, it would be nice if they were, but they're just not. I think their last title was in '87.
I was about to say they act like Zeke is still there. It's not that time anymore.
Like Isaiah Thomas, Steve Alford, they're not walking through the door.
Right. I haven't thought about the Hoosiers in so long, since maybe Victor Oladipo's. The last time I thought about the Hoosiers.
I'll tell you what, though, those Oladipo and Cody Zeller teams
were solid.
They were fun to watch.
Do they get some nostalgia simply because of their school name and the movie with Gene Hackman, like
They've had some good players.
How much of that?
They've had good players. Yeah. And Bobby Knight coach there?
Yeah, Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight.
I'm just saying, how much
they got history.
That was Zeke's. Yeah.
I'm just saying, how much does that play into the whole nostalgia of the university and calling it
definitely
blue
does.
blood?
Yeah. Well, that's like Rudy with Notre Dame. So yeah.
For the record, if anybody calls Indiana blue blood right now, you've lost your mind. And I respect Indiana as a program, but Chase, I think you're right. I think Hoosiers, I don't know if it's the direct correlation to Indiana University. I think Hoosiers represents the fact that Indiana, the state, just is a big basketball town from college to pro. They from a high school to college. They love the Pacers. They love Indiana University. They love the Hoosiers. But yeah, they're not what they once were. But it's funny that you mentioned the Victor Oladipo team. Mm-hmm. Cody Zeller, when he actually committed to Indiana back in the day, people forget how big of a deal that was. Yeah. Indiana was down in the dumps, and Cody Zeller actually led them along with Oladipo to, I think the farthest they made was a Sweet 16, but they were a regular season juggernaut. I think they were a 1 seed. They just couldn't get it done.
Yeah. Let me see here. Feldman Mailbag, Steve-O baby. Kool-Aid, didn't it seem like the way Beasley was hitting that three, you could see flames coming out like NBA Jam?
Yes.
Let's go.
I swear, bro.
Yes, absolutely. That, in my mind, that was it right there.
He's on fire.
This is incredible what we're seeing from him. I'm glad that people are showing love to the Pistons and to Malik Beasley. Charles McClain, Feldman Mailbag. Pistons were 4 games under 500 with Ivy and Cade, but a 6-game improvement without Ivy. Are Pistons better without Ivy? And I'll just say, no, they would be better with an Ivy right now. Especially when you see the types of improvements he made, not just in on-ball three-point shooting, but also off-ball three-point shooting. The improvements he made as it relates to finishing out the rim, getting into the paint. His defensive improvements, his ability to play clutch at the end of games. Cade is not going to have it every single night. Jaden Ivey put this team in a position to get some wins, and when they started to go on their uptick after the 0-4 start, it was a lot because of what Ivy was doing in addition to Cade and Beasley as well. They were forming somewhat of a triple threat there.
This is why I don't understand why this question has come up, because he was playing good and the team was playing good when he was on the floor. I get the record since he's been gone, but why would anybody think that this team would be better without Jaden Ivey? I don't.
Since he's been gone, you've seen other players step up that if they had done this from the beginning of the season, the Pistons might be in an even better position. True. They didn't start off that way because Ivey wasn't hooping. Ivey was one of the more consistent players to start the year.
Yeah.
They probably go under a little bit more if Ivey wasn't the player he was. It's just unfortunate that as the rest of the team was starting to step up, Ivy got hurt.
Yeah.
But we all knew they had this potential to go the way that they've gone. We even stated when he went down, Duren and Tobias can step up. They have enough. They've done that, and we see them having still some success along with Asar.
I mean, we know the reason. It's because Easy. Shout out Easy, Woodward Heavyweights, one of my best friends here. But
he doubled down, I heard.
He did double down. And here's the thing about my evolution as a Pistons fan and my evolution on Jaden Ivey. Last year and the year before, especially last year, I had some questions. I'll admit, I wanted him on the bench, like as a sixth man, not out of the rotation. At the beginning of the year, I questioned whether Cade and Ivey could fit. However, I've seen enough this season to see that Jaden Ivey is a huge plus for this team. He has the potential to actually be the number one Robin in the future. He was playing like it, and a lot of things like. It's not just as simple as Cade's out of the lineup, they have a better record, Ivey's in, they have a worse record. We talked at the beginning of the show about how Asar Thompson, he was out for like the first 20 games. Jalen Duren was not the player that he was at the beginning of the season. Tobias Harris, he gave a lot of credence to what JB and Chase were saying at the beginning of the year. It's not just, was Jaden Ivey just single-handedly making Duren and Tobias worse? Was Jaden Ivey prolonging the blood clot absence for Asar Thompson? Of course not. I just think at this point it's time to evolve. Shout out Easy, you're standing on business, you're fighting till the bitter end, but I disagree with you on this one.
Yeah, he's been consistent with his take from the beginning, so it's like that's been his take.
Yeah.
But the metrics show something a little bit different. And I like the fight. I like the resiliency of a player like Jaden Ivey. You talk about a guy who could have folded last year with everything that happened. You talk about a guy who went through a lot. He talks about his own personal journey and where he's at right now at a much more balanced place and further away from what he considers his demons. And so we saw that guy taking that step this season. A guy who, again, we talked about how much Beasley wants to be here. Ivy wants to be here.
Yeah.
He is from here. He has blood from here. He's seen his mom win here. His grandma still got a shop here over in the Fisher. Like, it just is what it is, man. I want to see him have success here. And before he went down, he was doing everything that I believe he needed to be a part of this Pistons future.
He played his way into that spot. And that's why, when people like Stick and Weezy D313 just think we were saying a curse word when we said, maybe Ivy should be on the bench in the preseason. I don't think that was the craziest thing in the world because we had to see the improvements. It wasn't all his fault. We do admit that. There were some things there that wasn't completely his fault, but he had to play his way back into that spot, and he's done that. So he's definitely a part of this core.
I can't put last year on him.
You were very consistent with that. I'll give you that.
My thing is, like, I believe that he was exactly kind of what we saw in the first year when he had Dwayne Casey. That made a huge difference for at least his early development when he wasn't supposed to be playing without Cade.
Right.
He got thrusted into that situation, and it does take coaching to take a young player. He learned the game as an ISO player. His introduction to NBA is without the guy who's supposed to be playing next to him.
Exactly.
So it's like now that they're learning that, I always knew he had the skills, but now that they're learning how to be that balance, or they were, I'm very bullish about what they're going to be when he gets back.
Yeah.
I just am.
Yeah, man, if it's during the playoffs, that would be
I think it's a chance.
You know how hype
it's an outside chance.
If he returned in the playoffs too, man.
Oh, yeah.
Pistons fans will go, wow. You know what? Let's talk about this one last question here. Yashawan Judah, Feldman Mailbag. Which Pistons playoff series would be more lit, against the Knicks or the Pacers in the first round?
The Pacers would be the more lit series, just in terms of, the bitterness between the teams. But I feel like the better matchup for the Pistons is the Knicks. We match up very well.
Stage, that Madison Square one, man.
Yep.
In the matchup.
That'd be a big moment for Cade. Going there and win a playoff series against the Knicks in the Garden.
And I understand, too, that I think it was easy again that gets perturbed when New York is called the Mecca of basketball. And he's got a point. New York, the Knicks haven't won a damn thing since the 70s, but there's just something about the city, the Garden, such a prestigious arena. They've still had a ton of good players come through. Ewing was one of the guys who was kind of blocked by Jordan, was always one of the guys who Jordan prevented from winning rings. They still had good teams. It would just be, I think, as I've always said, basketball porn. Cade Cunningham, Malik Beasley, the Pistons going into the Madison Square Garden and maybe silencing the New York crowd. Oh my God. I mean, it's like porn to me. Thank you, JB. You're as quick on the trigger as can be. Pause. But
not as quick as Big Musket.
Hey!
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. It's my love going bang, bang, bang.
Hey. Sheesh, man. What a show. Pistons live. Everything is lit today. Go out there, BTA, as it relates to the Bulls. You got one more to handle. And I want to see the way that they handle business tonight, the mindset that they take into this game of, like Jalen Duren said, we have a standard, and we're not going to play down to our level of competition. He had to even choose his words. He said, I got to make sure I say it in a way that ain't going to get us fined effectively. And so we know that this is something that JB Bickerstaff, it's like when you know what you got. You know, because you got to assess. You're not going to push beyond what you think your team can do. Now we see JB Bickerstaff getting more pushy. So, you know, and the players responded to it. So let's rock, man. Is that a show?
That is a show.
Chat family, y'all were electric today. They demanded Pistons. Do we mark this day in history? Is this like the first day that, like in Woodward Sports history, that the chat family has demanded Pistons?
We barely TPB. T'd any LB.
T'd any LB.
Words of Broder.
Only you, Sam.
I love the WUW Crew, dog. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder. That dude, Justin, man, we appreciate you guys. I know Justin is always working hard for us behind the scenes as well. He cannot wait until school is done and he can just be here all the time. I see Summer over there too. I was about to say, Summer, what up, though, man? Thank you for dropping by today. I know we got the pod right after. Yeah. What up, though? You can't wait for school to be over.
Oh, I can't wait. But all I got to say is let's get it done again tonight, Pistons. And yeah, shout out JB Bickerstaff. Amazing leader.
Amazing leader.
Amazing.
Coach of the year?
Yep.
Hey.
Yep. Calling it now.
I think we got more Chase GPT today. What up, though, brother? Always love having you part of the show.
Hey, what up? Yeah, I mean, you guys, I guess whatever you guys decide I am, you know, I just kind of fit that role. But good show today. A lot of Pistons, you know, obviously they're playing really well. And they're going to be, I think, most of what we talk about for the next couple weeks because the NHL has a 2-week break going on. So hopefully, you know, we'll have some praises from the All-Star weekend to give to, you know, not only Cade Cunningham, but, you know, maybe Malik Beasley as well.
Asar.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking about, I forgot Malik's not
or
doing
Tobias.
What's Tobias doing during All-Star weekend, KG? Huh? Are you guys hanging out?
Hey, Chase, how about you crash the fucking boards? How about that?
Rebound
the basketball.
Go ask Ryan Lynch who's the best rebounder in the back room.
That sounds crazy.
I bet Spenny doubles down and says I'm the best rebounder too. All I do is just eat the boards.
Okay. There's a pause in there somewhere.
Try to find it, man.
Somewhere there's a pause.
But yeah, it's been a great show. Hope you guys are having fun. Stay tapped in. You got Big D coming up. It's Sean and D-Mac because Neil's out of town today. So enjoy those two. Hopefully, I'm sure we'll talk a little Four Nations on Big D.
Oh, you'll talk 2 segments worth of Four Nations. Sean. I love Sean. But that man just like Four Nations, any sort of obscure hockey. I mean, I think he loves hockey like 5 times more than even D-Mac does. Love Sean though. Yeah. Sean's the man.
Great. That's hilarious, but great dude, man. I love Sean.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's get that chest pass going and break it down the rest of the way. Hey, that's butter. Hey, shout out to this elite booth in the sound booth. We got Detroit's #1 draft pick, that is KG. Rookie of the year going for Woodward Sports MVP. What up, though, Black
Y'all
Hollywood?
know what it is by now, man. Shout out to almost all 400 of y'all that tapped in with us today. We absolutely appreciate all the love. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Shout out to my team, man. Love y'all. Let's keep it rolling, bro.
Hey, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. That is JB Smooth. What up, though, brother? As you got the legend T-Falls walking in behind you.
T-Falls coming in 3, 2,
bam,
1. Right
Hello,
there,
young
young man. Right on time. Right on time. Shout out to the chat family. To Shad, I seen your comment in the chat as well too. I would definitely put the house on the Pistons tonight. Not doing any prop bets because I don't know how much playing time like K the All-Star is going to get tonight. But still, I'm putting money on the Pistons tonight. Plain and simple.
Hey, shout out to the legend too. We got, like we said, that new content that is going to be hitting. Woodward Ringside is available for members right now. If you have a membership, go and support our guys. Go and post that, man. JB Smooth and KG are doing a great job with that, man. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you're supporting Woodward Ringside. Woodward Wings is going to be there soon. Flannel Sam and that dude Justin have been putting it down. And Summer, Terry Foster, myself. It's going to be some cool content that's going to be hitting as well. We're going to be recording the pod today. So if you're members, we appreciate that type of support. And if you're not, definitely sign up because there's going to be so many more podcasts, so much more content to be able to keep you guys, man, give you everything you need for your Detroit sports. But the vet of our squad, the vet of the network, that is Flannel Sam. You know what? Red Wings correspondent, all sports knower, Go Blue lover, ball knower. What up, though?
Michigan basketball is back and the Pistons are back. I just got a call from the "We're back" department. Everyone's back. Red Wings are back. All back.
I love it, man. It's your boy Brendan Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid. Hey, you know what? I guess that's a back as well.
Bouncing back.
They can bounce back.
They might not.
You claiming it, huh?
I'm claiming it now. They're bouncing back. This is embarrassing.
Izzo fold job is imminent.
This is embarrassing.
Are we gonna get January, February Izzo?
Yeah,
it's gonna be
imminent. I smell it.
I'm sorry, Flannel.
And if you guys want, some of you Michigan fans in the chat, fellow Michigan fans, look at, if you want some entertainment, Justin Thind embarrassed himself on Twitter last night. Good God.
Yeah.
Disgrace. Getting on Indiana for playing zone defense. Hey, MSU, make a fucking 3. You're shooting under 30% on the season. How about that? Call Jaden Akins and tell him to relearn how to shoot 3s again. How about that? Mr. Excuses. It's like Dude Perfect, Mr. Excuses. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, they played zone defense. Shut up. I thought you were reasonable. I thought you were better than like the Spiros of the world. That was worse.
Uh-oh, Sam turning red. We got to get out of here.
Jesus.
He turned red.
I am not trying to
I don't know what happened to the
You're good, Flannel.
This guy, dog.
I'm as upset
Whoever
as
that
you
guy
are.
is,
I'm
give
just
him
not
a
voicing
raise.
it.
Last thing. All right. I am going to try to work on saying the Lord's name in vain. I really am. I'm trying, but I slipped that time. We all personal growth. This has been a show of personal growth.
It's okay, Sam. You're going to hell anyway. It don't matter.
Probably.
I respect it. He dropped a couple names. The only one you got to show reverence to, he said my bad for it. I respect that. But there was another name dropped.
Yeah.
I was like, let me get out of here. We're going to get in trouble.
time to go,
This is
dog.
your boy Brandon AK, Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Have a day, y'all. Thank y'all for support, man. It's been Wake Up Woodward. Let's go.
Shout out Tabby.
Shout out to Abby.
Shout out.